They are building for the future. And what a great talent it was to scout him, because this is a kid who was being hawked around Europe. He had trials at Real Madrid. He had 4 separate trials at Manchester United, and they decided not to sign him.
That's remarkable, isn't it? It just goes to show how subjective this world of football is. But as you say, look, he is key in that Arsenal forward line, and alongside Saka and Saliba as well at the back. They're both into their last sort of 18 months of their current deals as well. For Arsenal, in terms of building that future, it's so key to get those signatures laid down, really, and to get their futures nailed. How do Everton stop them then today? Because this is a leaky Everton side, of course, that has been, and Sean Dyche has come in. He hasn't had much time to sort of impose himself and his style, but they've really got a big job on their hands today against this dynamic, fast-flowing, direct Arsenal side.
Yeah, you're completely right. And when Sam read out those team sheets earlier, Resh, I was surprised that Demarai Gray wasn't in the starting 11, because I think he's been one of the shining lights for Everton this season, but I can understand why he isn't playing. You can see the 11 that Sean Dyche has pitched, its legs, its energy. And I said before, I think Decore will drop into that midfield area, so they will have a 5 in midfield when they haven't got the ball. And it's all about just knowing your positions, being organised and not drifting and trying to play your own game. They know they're going to be up against it at certain times in this football match. There's no doubt about that with the quality that Arsenal have got. And if they can go out today, Everton, and nick this game 1-0, what a result that would be for Sean Dyche. His first game in charge. The atmosphere in this stadium will be absolutely rocking. There's no doubt about that. But you can see he's gone for energy, and he's got to try and match Arsenal for that. If they can do it, they give themselves a fighting chance. It's
hard to fight Arsenal's midfield trio. They have been phenomenal this season as well, and teams have not been able to match them. That's where they've been overrun. But this time the danger is that for Everton today as well, isn't it?
Thomas Partey's been brilliant. He's been absolutely crucial. You speak to any Arsenal fan, and the biggest worry is that he picks up an injury, which is why they needed to bolster that area. Jorginho is a different type of player, but that protection in front of the back four is important for Arsenal too. Not that they'll probably need that much protection today against an Everton team that don't score too many goals, but releasing the shackles for Xhaka to join in going forward has been important. And Ødegaard he's been talismanic.
He's been a key player, hasn't he? I think I've said this on game day previously. I remember doing an interview with none other than Mr. Cristiano Ronaldo back in, I think it was 20...
I'll pick it up, Mick, don't worry. Okay, got it.
It was an interview, it wasn't dinner, it was an interview. And I remember it was the year that Martin Ødegaard actually joined Real Madrid, and he was just seen as this young, dynamic, bright, young talent. And Real Madrid obviously had picked him up. And I remember my question to Cristiano was just, out of all the young players that you're seeing at the moment, not necessarily at Real Madrid, but just at the moment, that young generation, who do you think is the biggest star coming up? And he said Martin Ødegaard. He said he is the one who is just an exceptional player. So he spotted it all those years ago. Real Madrid let him go, and it's Arsenal's game.
It's amazing what players can actually see in another individual when you see them day in, day out, and what they bring to the training ground, albeit he didn't play too many times at Real Madrid. But Cristiano Ronaldo's obviously seen something in training to say, wow, that kid's got
It was very early days as well, into his time at Real Madrid as well. So it was interesting. So he spotted it, and Martin Ødegaard here today, a key player for this Arsenal side. Well, the teams are walking out now with the mascots for the Everton players, of course, and they are lining up now alongside that Premier League hoarding, and there is a lovely atmosphere here at Goodison Park. The fans are applauding their team. They are behind this team. They have a lot of hatred towards the hierarchy at this club, but not towards their players, and you can see that today here in the crowd. And what a matchup this one is. 18 places and 35 points separate these sides at the opposite ends of the Premier League table. Arsenal have 50 points so far. That's their best ever tally at this stage of the season. Everton have 15. That's their worst ever at this stage of the season. Their fortunes really couldn't be any more different, could they? But well, former Evertonian Mikel Arteta is the manager of Arsenal. He's lost on both of his visits to Goodison Park as the Arsenal manager. And in fact, Arsenal haven't won here at Goodison since Arsene Wenger's final season in charge. That was a 5-2 victory in October 2017. There really is so much at stake in terms of the Premier League ambitions of both of these clubs. It really is a fascinating tie. Sean Dyche has set out his stall. He's got to get a performance out of his team today. That is what he's asking for. But it's a big challenge. Cannot wait to see how this one pans out. And with the players taking their places on the pitch, I'm going to hand you over to our commentary team for this one. It is the former Sunderland, Blackburn and England defender Mickey Gray, who is alongside Talksport's chief commentator Sam Matthews.
Thank you, Resh. This is Goodison Park, with its mix of rancour and discontent, with protests outside in the build-up to the game, meshed with an ache to help the current new manager inside, a conflicted crowd as a new era begins. But make no mistake, the school of science is capable of going nuclear if things go wrong this afternoon. Sean Dyche says he is excited, and he should be. Everton are a tremendous club, wonderful support, but he should also be under no illusions. Rafa Benitez, Frank Lampard, Carlo Ancelotti, Sam Allardyce, Marco Silva and Ronald Koeman were excited, and they all exited expediently. There's the reception for Sean Dyche, who gets a warm welcome from the crowd. But he knows January was dry and February will be fraught. Oversight bordering on negligence. None of the board's experiments have worked, but then they've never really followed any particular method. Stick in a bit of this, stick in a bit of that, mix it together, wait for it all to go up in smoke. Change. Mikel Arteta was part of the fabric of this club for 6 years. He led them into Europe. His squad made an FA Cup final. Usually he would want to lend his old pals a hand, but not today. He has an Arsenal heart now, and Arsenal have him in theirs. The Gunners have dropped just 7 points all season. Arsenal are on the road to something special. Everton have only got 15 points in the bag. No wonder the expectation is that Arteta's side will extend their lead at the top of the Premier League table to 8 points by mid-afternoon. Everton are having their worst top-flight season in blue shirts and white shorts and white socks. And Arsenal in red-bodied jerseys having their best season so far, accumulating more points at this stage than any other Premier League campaign. White sleeves, white shorts, red socks, attacking the goal away to our left in the first half. Mickey Gray had some massive highs in his career, but was also in a Sunderland squad when they were relegated, and relegated with Leeds too. How do Everton approach this game today?
Showing a bit of heart and fight, Sam, which has been missing throughout the whole of the season. I think that's exactly what Sean Dyche will want from his players. And just to get those supporters on side, give them something to cheer their team on, maybe to a successful 3 points at the end of this game. We know it's going to be difficult. You can see the way they've set up already in the game. They're just going to sit in, they're going to try and soak up as much pressure as they possibly can from Arsenal, and maybe ask Arsenal to maybe come up with the questions and the answers to try and break them down. But this is a new era for Everton Football Club, and they've got to start picking up points, and they've got to start picking them up quick as they possibly can.
Later on Talksport 2, the red half of Liverpool take on Wolves and try to revive their ailing season. But first, Sean Dyche jumping into the blue, and it is a baptism of fire. Arsenal have the ball over on the right-hand side. They've had almost exclusive rights to the yellow Nike football since the start, but Mykolenko tracking Ødegaard is determined to make him know that he's in a game. Jordan Pickford is the Everton goalkeeper. The right-back Coleman, Cody, Tarkowski and Mykolenko make up the back four. Iwobi, Onana, Gay, Doucouré and McNeil in midfield, with Calvert-Lewin in attack. Arsenal with Ramsdale in goal, White, Saliba, Gabriel and Zinchenko, Ødegaard, Partey and Xhaka. Up front it's Saka and Martinelli flanking Nketiah through the middle. 1 minute 30 seconds played live on Talksport. Over on Talksport 2 right now we've got championship action for you involving Norwich and Burnley, and we'll keep you up to date with what's happening in the game between Rotherham and Sheffield United as well. Ødegaard just sorting his boots out after that collision over on the far side. Sean Dyche already in the ear of the fourth official, flanked by his assistant Ian Woan and Steve Stone, who is a former Nottingham Forest player, as was Woan, as was Dyche. Here is Onana winning the ball high up the pitch, and then Iwobi releases Calvert-Lewin into the penalty area. He's isolated Gabriel but couldn't get beyond him, tucks it back to Onana left side, And from a promising attack, Everton regained possession on that left-hand side inside Arsenal territory, their first foray into it. Cody, just right of the centre circle, looks up, floats the ball forward. Bit of space out wide for former Arsenal player Iwobi. Not going to reach him. Ødegaard's going to pick it up. And now Saka will scamper to halfway. But if they are going to have any joy, it probably will be on the counter-attack today, because Arsenal are likely to have a hell of a lot of possession here.
Oh, absolutely, Sam. I mean, Everton just had a bit of a half chance themselves from Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I just wonder, an in-form Calvert-Lewin, whether he would have taken that shot on first time.
Martinelli in form, running Coleman down the right side. Coleman sticks with him, does brilliantly just to help him out of play, nudges him down the touchline and then out behind the goal away to the Gladys Street end, away to our left-hand side. 0-0 the score, live on Talksport, between Everton in 19th and Arsenal top of the table. In the Championship, they're underway at Carrow Road. Norwich 0, Burnley 0, and Rotherham United 0, Sheffield United 0.
Well, you're right to mention the possession, Sam, because Arsenal will have a lot of that today. I think we all know that. But Everton have just got to wait for their opportunities when they do come along. They've just got to be more clinical. You were talking in the build-up to this game about the lack of goals that they've got. I remember Dominic Calvert-Lewin under Ancelotti. I think he showed him videos of Inzaghi, first-time shots whenever he gets a chance. He's got to get back to that player, and he's got to get back to that player as quick as he possibly can if Everton are going to be successful.
Arsenal have the ball right side with Bukayo Saka into Thomas Partey, who's engaged by Idrissa Gana Gueye in the midpoint of the Everton half, just on the right slightly. Back to the centre circle, it's given to Gabriel, and then he held off by Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Is quite happy and content to play the ball around on the halfway line. 18 places, 35 points separate 19th Everton and Arsenal at the top of the tree. It shouldn't be a contest, but it is the Premier League. Here's Zinchenko, who wanders into the fire of that midfield, and it is indeed a 4-4-1-1 with Decore playing behind Calvert-Lewin that Everton have lined up in today here at Goodison Park under grey murky skies. Very little wind and a slight drizzle of rain. Zinchenko takes it through the centre circle into the midfield with Granit Xhaka. Back to Zinchenko again, out wide it goes to the touchline. Martinelli, and then infield to Gabriel. And Gabriel across the middle to William Saliba. Saliba finding Ben White. Arsenal settling into the game, having a lot of possession, and Everton at the moment chasing shadows but keeping them at arm's length. Here is Bukayo Saka cutting in from the right side. Mykolenko diving in. He almost took out Partey when he got up from beating Saka to the ball, but he's kept the attack moving. Zinchenko to Xhaka, and then left side is Martinelli. A heavy touch, inviting a challenge from Seamus Coleman, who puts it out of play on this near side and away for a throw-in to Arsenal. Everton 0, Arsenal 0 on Talksport.
Very good start from the home side, staying in the positions, being very well organised.
Here's Zinchenko into the middle, looking to try and fire the ball to Nketiah, cut out by Everton, and Calvert-Lewin slaloms his way through the middle point of the Everton half and moves up into Arsenal's territory. Worked it wide now onto Alex Iwobi, who faced up Ben White, then goes on the outside, tries to get the cross in. White holds him up. Still, Iwobi has the ball. Turns it back to Onana, and then it goes across to Cody, and Everton patiently look to switch to play from right back to left, looking for Onana again in the penalty area. The high ball by Coleman is cut out, and it looks like it's a head injury for Onana, and referee David Coote does eventually stop proceedings to attend to Onana's injury.
Yeah, head clash there. Just getting himself just on the edge of the 18-yard area. There wasn't coming together. That diagonal pass from Coleman from right to left, they've tried on a couple of occasions so far in this game, so it's certainly a ploy from Sean Dyche to try and get the ball into the final third as quick as he possibly can. What's interesting, Sam, as well is, and Sean Dyche knows Dwight McNeil a lot, and I covered Burnley a lot. Can't remember too many times him playing on the right-hand side. He used to use him as an out-and-out left winger, but he's playing right-hand side today, obviously to try and chop in onto his left foot and get balls into the area for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. In a Iwobi looks as if he's drifted over to that left-hand side, so let's hope that works from an Evertonian side of things.
Yeah, I noticed that really early on. I thought, that is a bit strange, isn't it? He was a player who was given his senior debut, Dwight McNeil, by Sean Dyche when he was at Burnley. And Everton maybe haven't seen the best of him yet. Mikel Arteta has called a timeout on this near touchline whilst Onana has been receiving treatment. He's got all of his players in a circle and immediately he's trying to pass on instructions. I'm not entirely sure whether or not that is as productive as many people might think, or whether it is just a sign to everybody this is a cohesive unit. It's almost like symbolic now. He does it every time that there's a huge stopping.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I'm sure the build-up, the tactics, they've obviously sorted things out before the game, but when you actually get into the game, he might just see something a little bit different to what he maybe expected from Everton. That's why he brings the players across. So we'll have to wait and see if something changes in the way that Arsenal have set up. But they've had a lot of possession. They have got in behind Everton on a couple of occasions, but they've just not as yet had the quality to break them down.
He works well with his coach Albert Sturvenberg, also known as AirPod Albert. He's always walking around with something in his ear, communicating to those up on high. He was the assistant to Louis van Gaal at Manchester United and to Ryan Giggs at Wales for a time too. Here is Martinelli down the left-hand side. Ball cut out by Idrissa Gana Gueye. Out wide it goes to Dwight McNeil, and Everton have the ball back deep inside their own half. You're listening to Talksport. It's Everton 0, Arsenal 0. The ball curled down the right touchline up towards Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Gabriel is there. Partey tries to win it. It runs loose in midfield, and Onana is back on his feet. Has released McNeil through the middle. He runs to the edge of the penalty area, tries to shot. Mike Cannon into the path of Calvert-Lewin, but it's smothered well by Aaron Ramsdale. Went down at the feet of the England striker, and Arsenal get it clear. Now they come on the counter-attack. It's 4-on-4, and Ødegaard is leading the charge. He's got Saka out wide to his right, who takes it on now into the penalty area, left-footed shot, hits the defender, comes back to him. Mikalenko goes across. Saka's got it back once again, tries to turn it back infield. Claim of handball, referee says play on, it was accidental. White into Ødegaard, snapping into the tackle was Idrissa Gana Gueye. Nketiah, Saka, it's lost again, and Onana's picked it up. And there's real fire in the air here at Goodison Park. 9 minutes gone. It's still 0-0 between Everton and Arsenal on Talksport. But a great chance for Dominic Calvert-Lewin at one end, and a cracking opportunity to counter-attack at the other for Arsenal, Mickey Gray.
Well, we talked about the first 10 minutes of this game being vitally important for the Evertonians to get behind the team. Well, they've certainly done that. And what an opportunity for Dwight McNeil. He does ever so well. He wins the ball just around about the centre circle, and he gets it onto his left, but gets his shot away, obviously deflected. I just wonder whether Calvert-Lewin could have been a little bit braver in front of Ramsdale there. He's running in on goal. Ramsdale's reaching over with his left arm. Has to go down as a big chance.
Martinelli released inside the box by White. Tees it up on the edge of the area for Zinchenko, whose nudge into the area wasn't particularly effective, and it curls into the arms of Jordan Pickford away to our left-hand side. Pickford, who started 19 of the 20 Premier League games for Everton this season, and did come up with a crucial assist for Demarai Gray against Forest. A big influence on this team this campaign. He smashes the ball high into the air up towards Calvert-Lewin. You can see what they're trying to do. They're not playing out from the back here. They're getting the ball up quickly to Calvert-Lewin, using him as a platform on which to build, higher up the pitch and further away from their own goal.
Yeah, when they're asking questions of this back line of Arsenal, are they up for the challenge? Have they got the physicality in the back? The two centre-halves, well, so far Gabriel and Saliba have dealt with Calvert-Lewin aerially.
Saka skating down the right touchline, trying to feed Nketiah, goes into the box, is watched by Tarkowski, slides in and manages to half clear. Saka's got it back again though, edge of the area, into Partey, sweeps the ball goalwards. It's fingered by Jordan Pickford and just ricochets in front of him. It wasn't the greatest of saves, but he was comfortable with it, and it remains goalless. You are listening to Talksport. Some will say it's a poison chalice taking the reins at Everton, but get it right and this place will have you walking on water. And Everton's last home victory was a 3-0 win against Crystal Palace, but that was back in October, Mickey.
Yeah. It's too long ago, isn't it? 10 games, I think, in all competitions without a win. No winning 4 in front of the home supporters.
Martinelli racing down the left touchline, being chased by McNeil and Seamus Coleman. They're hunting impacts here, Everton, which is good to see from their perspective. They've got the ball clear to halfway, and Arsenal have got it back again. Everton can move out of the relegation zone temporarily with a win, but to stay there, others will need to drop points this weekend. Sean Dyche and Ian Woan are right on the edge of the technical area down in front of us, watching proceedings as Arsenal look to build through Ødegaard in the midpoint of the Everton half, just right of centre. He turns away from Onana and then twirls away towards the right side. Saka, Partey gets away from Gana Gueye, infield to Xhaka. Good, neat, intelligent, quick passing, but The ball from Xhaka out wide to Martinelli was a little bit heavy for the Brazilian, and it rolls out of play for a corner away to our left-hand side. What have you made of the start of the game, Mickey?
I think it's been very, very lively, very bright from both sides. I have to say, Arsenal look real threat, don't they, when they go through the gears and they're breaking from that central area into the final third. They're trying to get Martinelli and Saka involved in the game as quick as they possibly can, albeit they haven't showed the quality in those wide positions as of yet. But you can see the ploy in the way that Everton have set up. They're not playing that high press. They're waiting for their moments to try and win the ball back. And as we've just seen there, Sam, just right in front of us there, it's that long ball up towards Dominic Calvert-Lewin. But the important thing, if you're going to play that way, is Iwobi, Doucouré and McNeil have to get around Calvert-Lewin for those second balls if they're going to make anything happen for them today.
Interesting to see Doucouré back in the team. It's his first start in the Premier League since August. And that was after a falling out with Frank Lampard earlier in the season. Here is Zinchenko trying to open up that stubborn Everton back line, which has got 2 banks of 4 in front of Jordan Pickford's goal today. Haven't been stubborn enough over the course of the season, although they started the season in that vein. And at one stage, they had one of the best defences in the league. No doubt who is the best team in the Championship right now. That's Burnley. They're in front already away at Norwich over on Talksport 2. The goal coming after just 13 minutes of that encounter. Zaroury, the Moroccan, scoring the goal. Here is Dwight McNeil for Everton on this near touchline. By the way, if you want to listen to the commentary of that game, Norwich against Burnley, you can download our app, the Talksport app, for free, and you can switch between the 2 stations really easily. You can listen back to some of the programmes. In fact, if you missed the build-up to this show, you can listen to that as well. You can go back on the app, get the content that you want when you want it. Here is McNeil running through the right side of the Arsenal half. He finds Doucouré out wide. He motors up to the edge of the penalty area, thrashes a ball through the boxes away by Gabriel, stoops low to head it clear, and it's picked up by Ødegaard. And then it's with Martinelli and Arsenal looking to get rid of it. 0-0 the score. Arsenal had a magical first half of the season, and they know if they maintain that for the next few months that they could have all their wildest summer dreams come true. But Everton are showing a little bit of spirit here in the early stages. Gana Gueye trying to get away from Bukayo Saka. He's flicked out an arm into the face of Saka, who's gone down. That's going to be a free kick.
Yeah, well, if there isn't any contact, it obviously looks like it is, because Saka's on the ground. He's holding on to his face here. But I thought if Gueye had hold of the... Yeah, it's just a flaying arm that's just caught Saka in the face. So the referee's obviously blew his whistle straight away. But I've been so impressed with the way that Everton have started this game. The energy levels have been absolutely fantastic. They're making it really, really difficult for Arsenal to break them down in between that position where I find that the centre half and a full-back, where you can see Martinelli on this side trying to burst in behind. But if they keep the discipline, keep their positions, Arsenal will get frustrated, and Everton's just got to wait for their opportunities in this game.
0-0 the score between Everton and Arsenal here on Talksport. Over on Talksport 2 in the Championship, it's Norwich against Burnley. We'll get off to Rotherham in just a second and find out how Sheffield United are getting on as well. They've been in terrific form, unbeaten in 8 league games. Those 2 teams dominating the Championship at this present moment in time, Sheffield United and Burnley, and look to be securing a place back in the Premier League. Or will they be taking Everton's place? Their huge 69-year stay in the top flight is seriously under threat after what has been a wretched start to the season. No team in the Premier League has won fewer games than Everton, and that big problem is goals, isn't it, Mickey? Only Wolves have scored fewer than the Toffees, and it's not just lumping the blame on the strikers Maupay and Calvert-Lewin. Whoever has played up front has largely been isolated the way they have been playing over the course of the campaign. They somehow have to find a way of scoring goals.
Yeah, they certainly do. And everybody's expecting them to come from Dominic Calvert-Lewin. We know he's got it. We know he's got the ability. He's an international player. He got himself in that England squad on the back of scoring a lot of goals. But injuries plagued him over the last couple of seasons. We know he needs wrapping up in cotton wool. But if you've got a player like him at your disposal, Sam, you've got to play to his strengths. In the air, there's nobody better as a centre forward. He's got this leap on him like nobody for his height. But if you're Iwobi, if you're McNeil, if you're Doucouré, you've got to give them the service. That's where they've got to try and find a goal. They've got to try and give themselves something to hang on to in games.
Saka's still down receiving treatment. That's why we have a pause in play here at Goodison Park, where it's Everton 0, Arsenal 0. You mentioned goals. Now that Anthony Gordon has left the club and gone to Newcastle, only 2 players in the current squad for Everton have scored more than 1 Premier League goal this season. Damari Gray's got 3 and Dwight McNeil has got 2. We've just seen a plane go over the top of Goodison Park with a banner trailing off its back saying the league's worst run club, time to go Bill. As someone who's hired a few planes, private jets in your time, is it quite sort of cheap to hire them now? Because everyone seems to do it.
Yeah, they do. Seen it at certain football grounds, but it's a distraction that they don't need, Sam. We talked about that. Outside of the ground is completely fine. Take all of the distractions away from the players and just let them get on and concentrate on winning football matches.
Yeah, I think the Everton fans did a good job in the fact that they had that huge protest prior to the match, then came inside and they've tried to support the team, especially in the first 18 minutes of the game. Everton 0, Arsenal 0, live on Talksport. Here is Martinelli on the near touchline. He's trying to tuck the ball back towards Gabriel. Has it. We're back underway with Saka on his feet. He's getting booed every time he touches the ball now because of his what was perceived to have gone down a little bit too cheaply. Coleman scuttles across from the midpoint of his own half and puts the ball out of play in front of Martinelli on this near side. He's got a tough test on his hands with Martinelli, Seamus Coleman today. He started the game really well. 1v1 situations, I think that's 3 or 4 with Martinelli. He's won every single duel with him so far. Connor Cody barking orders from the heart of the defence as Everton get it clear up over the halfway line. Zinchenko back to William Saliba, and then Sean Dyche urging his team forward, get up there and press them. His hands are in the air, he's clapping as Onana goes over and puts pressure on Saliba, and he puts the ball out of play over on the far side. It's away for an Everton throw in front of the Bullens Road stand opposite us. This antiquated old joint, which is one of the few stadiums that still has pillars keeping up the roof, and those pillars obscure the views of the spectators in all 3 of the 4 stands that are here. Away to our left-hand side, we've got a big, thick iron white post which is obscuring the view of a portion of the penalty area away to our left-hand side, but there's several of them behind the goal away to our left and opposite us too. Here is Iwobi over on the near side. He picks the ball up and swells it into the penalty area. It's a good ball which is headed away by Gabriel and tucked out for a corner, the first of the game, and it goes Everton's way, and that's greeted with a huge degree of cheer from the Park stand away to our right. Well, they're working the ball really well, Everton, from left to right. Decore switch of play there. Iwobi found himself on this occasion on the right hand side. Put a decent ball into the area. I think it was Decore actually who nearly got himself on the end of that. You give him a round of applause, because it was, but that's what you need. You need buddies in the area to try and get in front of your marker. And I think at the moment, Sam, certainly the last couple of minutes, Arsenal look a little bit rattled. Corner kick to be taken on this near side. It'll be taken by Dwight McNeil of Everton, left-footed, deep towards the far post. Rising was Onana, hits it against the back of the head of Saliba, and it goes out for another corner kick to the home team, who are putting a little bit of pressure on the Arsenal goal away to our right-hand side. An Arsenal team who, remember, are top of the table, 5 points clear, and 13 matches unbeaten. They've won 6 of the last 7 on the road. Corner over on the far touchline to be taken by Alex Iwobi, the former Arsenal player. He's got Onana and Calvert-Lewin to aim at in the centre. Tarkowski's at the far post. Tarkowski trying to win that. He heads the ball down. Took another deflection. It's another corner, a third in quick succession for Everton, who are turning up the pressure. And Cody turning around, screaming at every player. Come on, he's saying, wheeling his arms circularly, trying to encourage a little bit of fight and energy as they push to try and go in front here after 21 minutes. There's 2 deep corners. I just wonder whether Dwight McNeil maybe just mix it up a little bit now, but you can see that line of Everton players trying to get on the end of this. McNeil in towards the back post again. Onana comes underneath it. It's away by Zinchenko, and then the second ball cleared by Saka out to the far side. It goes out for a throw. Well, they've came to play their part, Everton. There's no doubt about that. Great start to the game. Got everybody on side. They've got a little bit of momentum with them now. They've just got to try and keep putting pressure on this back line of Arsenal. Seamus Coleman chips the ball down the left touchline, looking for the run of Mykolenko. McNeil takes over, moves it out towards the wide left position, produces a cross which is blocked by Saka. It's another corner. And listen to the roar of the Everton supporters. They've noticed the fight, they've noticed the uppage in application, and they can feel as if they're putting pressure on this Wonderful Arsenal team that have knocked over everybody in front of them over the last few weeks. The corner to be taken by Iwobi again. Doucouré at the near post. Coley right underneath the goalkeeper, wrestling with Zinchenko. It's in towards the near post, and Calvert-Lewin gets something on it, glances the ball towards that near post area, and it goes over the top of the crossbar. It was a good, well-worked set piece.
It must be so difficult for a manager coming into a club and trying to change so many things in a short period of time, but what has got to be important for Everton is set pieces. That's 4 in a row. 3 play to the back stick, deep corners. This one, play to the near post. Dominic Calvert-Lewin getting in front of his marker, just needed a glance at a little bit. He actually caught it too well. But the pressure from Everton at the moment is superb.
Sean Dyche is almost applying the press himself. He's down the touchline, using his arms, thrusting the team forward as they give away a free kick inside Arsenal territory. And it's a free kick to the Gunners, who come forward now midway through the first half. 23 minutes gone. It's still goalless in the Premier League. Xhaka looking for Nketiah, stopped by Tarkowski, who was cute enough to read that pass, intervene and gets it clear via Iwobi upfield. Wrestling match going on between Gabriel and Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Gabriel gets it back to his goalkeeper. Ramsdale does brilliantly, by the way. Gabriel chests it down and brings it clear. There was a lot of shirt pulling going on between Gabriel and Dominic Calvert-Lewin down in front of us.
There was just enough to get away with it from Gabriel. And I don't think Ramsdale would have thanked him for that pass that he played back to him, albeit he was under a little bit of pressure. But the goalkeeper dealt with it brilliantly.
Zinchenko swirling the ball to the far touchline, taken down by Saka, who's immediately surrounded by McNeil. I don't know if you saw the game Friday night, Manchester City Arsenal, Mickey, but Saka had a bit of a tough time with Nathan Ake, actually.
Yeah, well, he did, and you think about the performance that he put in, Saka, against Luke Shaw. I think it's testament to Ake, the way that he performed against him. I thought it was absolutely phenomenal, because you think about the season that Saka's had, there's not many get the better of him.
And he's got his hands full today, being doubled up on by Mykolenko and McNeil. There was a handball by Thomas Partey. Free kick is going to be given, and Everton have the ball just left of the centre circle inside their own territory. 24 gone, Everton 0, Arsenal 0 on Talksport with Now Sports. And don't forget, you can watch all the Sky Sports action with Now Sports.
You know what they're doing, Sam, at the moment, Everton? They're making the game scrappy, which suits them down to the ground, because we know Arsenal want to get the ball down. They want to get it into those wide areas, play this flow and football that we see every single week from them. But they just can't settle on the ball at the moment.
Iwobi into Calvert-Lewin, tight angle, drills the shot into the arms of the goalkeeper, Aaron Ramsdale, and it's cleared away. He immediately bowls it out, but he's bowled it out towards Doucouré. It's chipped by Onana towards goal, but it took a deflection, went into the air, and was caught by Ramsdale, who was backpedaling to make sure he wasn't caught out. Thumbs up from Ramsdale, but I think there was a heart-stopping moment there when he saw that the ball was heading back over his head. Better contact on that ball. Could have found its way into the back of Arsenal's net, but it's all down to the pressure from Everton. Arsenal making silly mistakes that you're not used to seeing. McNeil chasing Ødegaard back into his own half, pressurising, harassing him, showing real desire to engage higher up the pitch and cause Arsenal grief. Arsenal struggling to break that press. Everton winning it back again. And it's much, much better from this Everton team that have been devoid of confidence and motivation over the course of the last few months of the season. Iwobi trying to put pressure on Zinchenko. His header goes straight to Doucouré. Doucouré now turns and plays it infield to Gana Gueye. I mean, what all this has done is just basically highlighted how badly the Everton players have been playing over the course of the last few months. And it does beg the question, can they sustain it? Here's Iwobi, floating it out towards the far side, finding McNeil, gets into the byline, produced across, Iwobi with a header, oh, it's not great, and it's cleared away by Martinelli on the edge of the penalty area. But they look the most likely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the momentum is certainly in the blue shirt of Everton. Started the game so well. Cody firing it forward, goal kicker's going to come and claim that, he does that. And Nana was trying to chase into the area as well, just to try and ensure that there was a presence, but Arsenal have got it clear. Saka skating down the touchline. He's got Mykolenko for company. He squeezes through a tight gap and funnels the ball to Partey. It's good football by him. Partey takes a couple of strides towards the edge of the 18-yard box, but it's very difficult to try and prise their way through now that Everton have got 2 banks of 4 in front of their goalkeeper. Whenever they lose the ball and Arsenal go towards the Everton goal away to our left-hand side, they immediately station those two banks of four so tightly together, there's no gap in between.
Straight lines. If you lose the ball, straight lines, get yourself back into a position where it's going to be hard for Arsenal to break you down, because they know they've got the quality. It takes a split second for them to break you down. You've got to stay switched on for 90 minutes.
Martinelli near touchline. Everton 0, Arsenal 0 on Talksport. And the latest odds are available at Betfair, the official betting partner of Talksport's Premier League coverage. Right now you can get Everton at 5-1. Arsenal at 7-10. The draw is 9-4. That's all thanks to Betfair 18+, BigGambleAware.org. Ball breaks into midfield. Calvert-Lewin beats Saliba to the ball. He goes over towards the far touchline, plays it against Saliba and wins a throw-in. They don't need much, this Everton crowd. They need a bit of heart, they need a bit of desire, they need the work rate. I mean, they're all fundamentals really, aren't they? But Everton are certainly putting those in today.
Oh, without doubt, Sam. Look, it doesn't take long at a club to set standards. Well, Everton have done that so far in the first 27, 28 minutes of this game. And it's standards that they have to keep now. You see the reaction they're getting from their support, because they know that they're out there giving 100% effort. And if they keep doing that, as we mentioned in the build-up to this game, these Evertonians will stick with them all the way through the season.
And the only thing I suppose nagging at the back of some people's memories is the fact that this is how it started under Carlo Ancelotti, under Rafa, under Frank, and now under Sean Dyche. Here is Xhaka into Gabriel, cleared away by Gana Gueye. Gabriel back to Zinchenko. Maintaining these standards is going to be really important for Sean Dyche. Nketiah into Ødegaard, back to Nketiah again. Mykolenko comes across inside his own area, left side, hooks it away. It's out for a throw into Arsenal level with the edge of the 18-yard box. Still goalless on Talksport. Here on the right side, the ball is with Thomas Partey. Out to Ben White. White back infield to Partey once again. And Everton trying to build, but Onana snaps around his ankles, wins the tackle, pushes it to halfway and forces the away team further back.
I mean, Arsenal must be so frustrated at the moment. They're having to work wonders to try and just get anywhere near Everton's 18-yard area.
Here is Saka wrestling with Mykolenko. Has got to the 18-yard area, found Nketiah. Tight angle, blast the ball goalwards over the top of the crossbar. Pickford came racing out to narrow the angle, did well, but Nketiah spun in behind the defence for the first time, and a real opportunity for Arsenal goes over the top of the crossbar.
Just in the build-up there, I think Everton were trying to get themselves or win themselves a foul, but then two passes later, Saka to Nketiah, a man on form at the moment, just gets that little half a yard in behind Everton. He's got to try and keep it a little bit lower. Thrashes at it a little bit. That's a very good opportunity. Probably Arsenal's best of the game.
Yeah, we played half an hour. It's taken that long.
Yeah.
And that is testament to the work rate and effort of Everton in blue shirts, white shorts and white socks, attacking the park stand in this first half from left to right as we look at it. Saliba manages to hook clear, headed down by Saka in the midpoint of the Arsenal half, but it's won back by Onana. Onana plays it wide to the left. Onana impressed so many when he first came into the Everton team. Still maybe got a little bit of work to do to settle fully, but he's all arms and legs. He's got huge long limbs and he's using them. Mykolenko maybe a little bit too physical on the far side. Saka is given a free kick and Arsenal have the ball once again.
Cheap little fouls, I call them, Sam, just on the halfway line, and Mykolenko goes through the back of Saka there, but what it does, it just slows that momentum down, because we know Arsenal are just trying to go through the gears. It just slows it up. They have to take the free kick and then start again.
It's worth reminding everybody that we're only really halfway through the season. Usually when you get to this stage of the year, February, you've played a few more games. Because of the World Cup, we haven't. So there is still a very long way to go. And if Everton want to save themselves and stay in the top flight, then they need to channel these home performances that got them over the line last year. Here is Onana playing the ball to Doucouré getting away from Partey, but they're not really knowing where to go with it. He was lucky that he was being pushed and harassed by Partey enough to yield a free kick midway inside Arsenal territory on the right-hand side, and it is going to be an Everton ball, and they'll be able to deliver from deep here. I don't think that they're going to do anything other than launch this into the penalty area.
Well, look, I mean, just over 30 minutes gone in the game. Throughout the whole of this season, I don't think I've ever seen Arsenal look this rattled. there's a little bit of frustration in their play. I've never seen them give the ball away as much as they give the ball away. You think about their away form as well, Sam. They've only lost that one game, and they could have actually won that against United.
Ball delivered by McNeil. Ramsdale's seen that, picked it, came out, collected it inside the area, and it's a bit of a waste of a delivery, really, from Everton. Good goalkeeping by the assertive Aaron Ramsdale, who has played every minute in the Premier League this season. Doesn't have particularly fond memories of this ground. He was relegated here with Bournemouth despite winning, which must have been an odd feeling.
Yeah. Well, 38-game season, it doesn't boil down to one game, Sam, does it? But yeah, it's never a nice feeling, and I can vouch for it. I've been there a couple of times.
Here is Onana, over on the far side, brushes aside Ødegaard, winning the ball and running, galloping into opposition territory. He's got a centre it. He does centre it. Calvert-Lewin can't toe-end it home. Sliding in inside the 6-yard box. Those bright red boots of Calvert-Lewin were millimetres away from nudging Everton in front. Brilliant galloping run by Onana down the left-hand side. A perfect centre through the 6-yard box. And Calvert-Lewin just couldn't quite get there.
What a chance. I mean, it's absolutely superb play from Onana. He bursts down, he just leaves Ødegaard for dead. Gets himself to the byline. I mean, he's done everything that you want him to do, and just Calvert-Lewin just needed to stretch out just a little bit more, just to poke that into the back of the net. And from what we've seen so far in the game, it's all that Everton deserve.
I mean, what a chance that was. How has Dominic Calvert-Lewin not got his second goal of the season? His only other goal this season came in their the most recent of wins. Here's Doucouré into the area, crosses to the box, and it's headed by Doucouré wide of the upright after the cross from the left from McNeil. And that's 3 big chances now for Everton that they haven't taken. The fans are on their feet. They're urging them to get forward once again. It's a delicious delivery from Dwight McNeil. It's not a great header from Doucouré.
Oh, what a ball again from Dwight McNeil. They've now drifted. He's now actually playing on the left-hand side. In a Iwobi's over on the right-hand side. But when they work it from that flick-on header from Calvert-Lewin out to McNeil, he's got one thought: out your feet, put it into a dangerous area, and to cut. It's perfect for him. It's like he's leaning back with a header. His body's leaning back, but his head's trying to go forward. It's a fantastic chance.
Ball loose inside the Arsenal half of the field. Everton have had the best chances in this game, but it's still goalless on Talksport with 10 minutes to go before the break at Goodison Park, with the lights firmly on here on a gloomy day on Merseyside. A chill in the air, but nothing like what we've had recently. Certainly the atmosphere a lot hotter here than it has been in recent times, where the relationship has been cooling between players and supporters. But a change of manager, a change of era, another change of era. Maybe things have refocused slightly. Here is Xhaka on the near side. Back to Zinchenko. Zinchenko centrally onto Partey. Partey forward to Ødegaard. In a pocket of space in the number 10 position. Closed down by McNeil, who's followed him from the far side into the centre. Zinchenko wins it back midway inside Everton territory. Now it's with Partey. Can he elevate the ball out to Saka? No, he goes to White instead, who moves up to the midpoint of the Everton half. Lays it forward into Ødegaard, gets it back again, gives it to Saka on the right side now. Saka turns it infield, and then Ødegaard down the right channel, and White might get there, but can't accelerate to keep the ball in play, and it drifts behind and away for a goal kick away to our left. Everton 0, Arsenal 0. Here's Mickey Gray.
There's just certain times where Arsenal are trying to play that third man running ball, and they haven't quite got it right on the occasions they've tried to play it. A couple of times on the left hand side with Martinelli, this time on the right hand side. But what Everton have done so well in that certainly in that midfield area, they're suffocating the Arsenal players. When they get themselves on a half turn, they're trying to get their head up, and as soon as you do that, it's either Gay, Doucouré in that midfield area. They're just pouncing on Arsenal, not giving them a split second, and you've got to do that. If you're playing against a team who are better than you, certainly on the ball, you've got to try and take that quality away from them. They've done that so well so far in the game, Everton.
The only point that Everton have picked up since October was when they went to Manchester City and somehow grinded out a draw. But they are causing Arsenal grief here, despite the fact they've only had 29% possession. They've had 7 shots on goal to Arsenal's 3, 2 shots on target to 1, 4 corners to Arsenal's none. Header by Gana Gay forward. Doucouré tries to help it on into the path of Calvert-Lewin. Cut out by Saliba, and then Gabriel gets it back to his goalkeeper, who's under pressure from Calvert-Lewin. Saliba turns it round the corner from Onana, who's behind him hunting, and then Arsenal play their way out of the press on this occasion. Ødegaard with good, neat, tricky footwork to find Partey. Now Zinchenko, a bit more room to breathe for him. He runs in to centre field. When he's on the edge of the centre circle, he releases Xhaka, gets it back again, and then moves up towards halfway. The Ukrainian, eyes darting everywhere, an intelligent player looking to try and feed the ball down the left channel, doesn't decide to do that, goes back into Gabriel, and Arsenal keep possession with 7.5 minutes to go before the break.
Zinchenko just got a little bit frustrated there because he's looking for the ball in behind, and Martinelli seems to be coming to feet all of the time. I think if they're going to get some success, I think it's probably going to come in the second half, but they've got to try and stretch the pitch a lot more than they have done in this first half. You look at both sides, Sam, in front of you. Everton don't want half-time to come. They just want to continue the way they're playing.
Yeah, Arsenal have 50 points already on the board. And at this stage of the season, that is their best ever return. But they are struggling to penetrate this energetic Everton team. Can they maintain that for this 90 minutes? That is the big question. And will Arsenal find a way through eventually? Are they just quite happy to keep hold of the ball, keep in the game, and then spring a little bit later when Everton start to tire? Martinelli, they've certainly got the class to do that. Tries to squeeze between Iwobi and Coleman. Coleman turns it away, out for a throw down by the corner flag.
There's no second thought in Seamus Coleman's mind. It's just to clear his lines. He's done it on 3 or 4 occasions. When he's won the ball back, he's not trying to play out from the back if he can't see a pass. It's just get it as far away from your goal.
Into the area it goes. Saka with a strike. He hits the ball towards the far post. It's blocked on the line by Cody and then cleared away by Iwobi. It wasn't the most venomous strike from Saka from the far side, but it was enough to keep Pickford interested, and Cody had to clear.
Connor Cawley's done so well. You can see that Saka's going to take that volley first time. He's just got himself into a position on the line. You can see it's drifted past Pickford. It is finding a way into the back of the net. Excellent play from the centre half.
And here is Saka again onto Ødegaard, then tucking it back into the shape of Partey. Partey out wide to Ben White, who delivers across towards the penalty spot. Martinelli was interested, but Coleman got there and headed it clear. It's fizzed through the middle of the Everton half and given to Zinchenko. It was a bit behind Xhaka, that. Zinchenko into the centre circle and Gabriel, then back onto Partey again. Arsenal just finding a little bit of rhythm with 5 minutes to go before the break. It's over the top for Saka the chase, and Saka can't get there. And it bounces off the turf and goes behind and away for a goal kick. It still remains goalless on Talksport.
An apology there from Ben White. Again, a little bit of frustration in the Arsenal play, having to play it over the top of Mikalenko's head. Just skidded off the turf. It was always going to go out of play. And that's where Arsenal find themselves. And it's so difficult to go through those midfield areas. But then, a minute before that, Sam, what a chance for Saka.
Latest scorelines from elsewhere. And the FA Women's Super League, Leicester City 0, Manchester City Women 2. Arsenal women are leading Brighton by a goal to 0. In the Championship over on Talksport 2, it's Norwich 0, Burnley 1. And Rotherham United 0, Sheffield United 0. A little collision between Calvert-Lewin and Gabriel. Yields a free kick. Xhaka takes it quick and short and tries to fire Arsenal up the field of play. 5 minutes before the break. Saka has it far side. In it goes to Partey, who takes a couple of steps forward, plays it square to Zinchenko. Zinchenko moves it down the left-hand side. Arsenal very good at smothering you in your own half when they want to, but they haven't been able to do that with Everton as much today. Everton have had a threat. They've had the better chances in the game. Xhaka out wide onto Martinelli. Signed his new contract this week. Still looking for the breakthrough here at Goodison Park. Was there a foul on Martinelli there? And according to the referee, there was. Don't think Coleman's too happy about it. Garner Gay was the one who was the perpetrator. The Everton fans behind the goal away to our left in the Gladys Street end also not too happy about it. They think this is soft, but it is going to be a free kick wide on the left-hand side for Arsenal.
Well, Martinelli seemed to be holding on to the top of his head, so I don't think there was any contact with his ankles. I mean, he does go down very lightly, I have to say. There's 3 Evertonian players around Martinelli, but he has won the foul. And it gives Arsenal an opportunity not far away from half-time to put that ball into Everton's box.
Did he just tickle his cheek there?
I think so, yeah.
Tickling's out nowadays, mate. 3 minutes before half-time. The free kick by Martinelli into towards the near post. Xhaka sticks out a boot, goes up in the air and goes behind and away for a goal kick away to our left-hand side. And it was a bit of a waste, really. I mean, the angle was not on for a near post delivery.
No, absolutely not, Sam. But I think that free kick pretty much sums up Arsenal's first half performance. It's been a little bit scrappy. Certainly in that final third, they've not been that potent threat that we've seen throughout the first half of the season. It was kind of, OK, I'll just whip this ball into an area. And it didn't really have anything about it. You know, you see all the centre-halves from Arsenal, they've came up into that 6-yard area. If I'm a centre-half and I've got one of my wide players whipping a ball into the box like that, he's getting a mouthful.
Well, I didn't think that Arsenal lost much on Friday night when they played against Manchester City. They changed a number of players, 6 players for that game. City basically played their first team or their first choice 11. City won it by a goal to nil. It was in the FA Cup, so it had no bearing on the Premier League, as Mikel Arteta was keen to point out previously. But maybe just a loss of momentum as Calvert-Lewin breaks down the right-hand side, tries to get the cross in for Everton. It was given away by Zinchenko rather sloppily. Martinelli then loses the ball. It goes out for a throw into Everton level with the edge of the 18-yard box away to our right-hand side. With 90 seconds to go of the first half, live on Talksport. Sean Dyche in his interview with Stan Collymore earlier on today suggesting that they would expect the high standards to be set. Would expect the minimum of effort and work rate. And that is what they've got so far. I think he's delighted to be the Everton manager. And why wouldn't he be? It's a huge club with great potential. If you get it right, you are going to be a godlike figure on Merseyside.
Without a doubt. He's been given a fantastic opportunity and he just doesn't want to let it slip. Walk through the doors of a really struggling side, and he can make himself into a cult hero in the space of 18 games, couldn't he?
Partey flies the ball from right hand side to left. It's picked up by Martinelli and then into Partey again as Arsenal look to try and finish the first half with a flourish. Is Xhaka down the left side, plays it against Connor Cody, blocks well, it goes out for a throw in level with the edge of the penalty area. You're listening to Talksport, game day exclusive, live at Goodison Park. Everton 0, Arsenal 0 with Car Finance 24/7. Search Car Finance 24/7 today. There'll be 3 minutes of added time at the end of the first half. It's still goalless. White takes a couple of strides down the side of the centre circle. On to Partey. Partey is being kept at arm's length by Onana and Gay and Doucouré. Arsenal just being kept away from the penalty area. Zinchenko takes it on, plays it down the left side to Xhaka. Xhaka back to Zinchenko, edge of the area, but watched by Garnacay, who's robbed it. Calvert-Lewin's on his bike and he's gone sprinting through the middle of the pitch. They haven't released it very quickly upfield. Iwobi gets it back to Coleman. Now it goes up towards Calvert-Lewin, who's going to fancy himself in the air with Gabriel. He put enough pressure on Gabriel but didn't win the ball. Arsenal have got it once again.
It's that long ball again, isn't it? Not even thinking about it, trying to play through those midfield areas. But they're just hanging on a little bit now, Everton. You want to try and get them to half-time at 0-0.
Yeah, all of a sudden it's Everton who want half-time and Arsenal that don't. It's funny how things change very quickly, isn't it?
Yeah, the momentum you can certainly see is in Arsenal's favour in the last couple of minutes towards half-time. Just wanting to stay switched on. Doucouré a minute ago just switched off, give Arsenal the opportunity to break down the left-hand side. You've got to stay focused.
The Everton analysts, of which there are now a battalion, have disappeared down the gangway here in the press box. We're high up in the main stand, overlooking the halfway line. They've gone down to give their verdict to Sean Dyche so that he can use the information in his half-time team talk. Arsenal trying to progress down the left touchline with Martinelli. Well, it's a short ball back towards Pickford, who's under pressure from Nketiah, and he has to volley it clear. And the referee eventually gives away a free kick and says that was a little bit reckless from Nketiah. I'm not sure about that. I think he had every right to go for that ball.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%. And it all come from a silly mistake from Seamus Coleman. He's done ever so well initially keeping the ball in play, but that ball back to Jordan Pickford, that's what I'm talking about, taking care, giving your goalkeeper no pressure whatsoever, just to clear his lines, but it's bouncing towards Pickford. I think Jordan could actually do something with the ball a little bit quicker, I've got to be completely honest with you, but don't want to put that pressure on your goalkeeper.
Yeah, there wasn't too much contact either. Here is Iwobi on the right side as they launch it upfield for one final attack. It's out wide to Coleman, who's crossing to the box. Calvert-Lewin with the header, it's wide. Well, he got in front of the defender to the edge of the 6-yard box, and as the ball came in from Coleman, he angled his header towards the far post, but he was well wide of Aaron Ramsdale's right hand upright, and it's a goal kick, not a goal. What a chance.
Oh, what a chance. I mean, 3 passes to get that ball into the area, and Calvert, I mean, I've lost count of how many great chances he's had in his first half against Arsenal. This one there, bread and butter for him, in the air, nobody marking him, he's just got to find the target. That is the only thing I can criticise Everton about in his first half, is when they've had those big chances, they've not hit the target.
Well, listen to the appreciation from the Goodison Park crowd, knowing that Calvert-Lewin had a chance to Neil's shot, which was saved by Ramsdale. He then had a chance with a header after Onana's run down the left-hand side, and then right on the stroke of half-time, a header from a Coleman cross, which went narrowly wide. Saka had a good chance as well, as did Eddie Nketiah, but Sean Dyche knows that Goodison hasn't been a happy hunting ground for Arsenal for years, and even on their darkest days, Everton seem to make a good fist of it against the Gunners. Today's no different. The league leaders are, at the moment, struggling against a team 19th in the Premier League. At half-time, it's Everton 0, Arsenal 0.
Sam Matterface, thank you very much. Yes, the Everton players have gone back into the dressing rooms. Various fans are going off for their half-time snacks. The half-time team talk from Sean Dyche will be a positive one, I think, Mickey Gray, because they have not let Arsenal play their game.
Well, what a first half of football. Everything that you would expect from a new manager. You know, you're looking for that new bounce, if you like, if you want to put it that way. Performance, work ethic. They've created opportunities. They've kept the fans on side. They're ticking all the boxes, Resh, but the only thing they've not done is put the ball in the back of the net.
Oh, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, how many chances did he have? A couple of those just golden opportunities, so clear-cut. Any other day, he would have put those in the back of the net. Is that just bad luck? Is that confidence? What do you put it down to? Because there are a couple of gilt-edged chances he should have put away.
Yeah, I think you have to boil it down to a little bit of confidence, don't you? I mean, when you've only scored 1 Premier League goal all season, when those chances come around, you haven't got that confidence, you haven't got that know-how of sticking the ball in the back of the net. I mean, he must have been inches away from the cross from Decore, who's doing ever so well to get to the edge of the byline. But then the header just at the end there, you know, that for me is food and drink when you think about Dominic Calvert-Lewin, because he's so good in the air. It's a brilliant cross into the area from Seamus Coleman. He's just got to hit the target. I think sometimes centre forwards can try a little bit too hard and things don't work for them, but if he keeps performing like that, keeps creating chances, the goals will come. That's
the key, isn't it? Creating those chances. And, you know, Sam mentioned this in commentary. How long can they keep it up? Because they've been working so hard off the ball. Arsenal having three quarters of the percentage of possession so far, and we guessed that at the start of the game. We knew it would be that is sort of how it would play out here, but you know, that's how it's turning out, and we saw that slight shift of momentum towards Arsenal at the end of that game. You know, if they're not careful, if anyone switches off in that Everton side, it could go that way, and then they were having to work even harder on the back foot. How long can they keep up the display that they put on in that first half?
Well, let's be honest, it's very difficult to dominate a 90-minute game of football. Sides are always going to have a spell in a game. It's what you can do when you have that spell. Now, Arsenal had it in the last 6-7 minutes of the first half. They didn't capitalise on that. They had that brilliant opportunity from Bukayo Saka from the ball in, caught it on the left foot volley. Conor Cody's done ever so well to get himself back onto the touchline to clear his lines, but that was the big chance for Arsenal. But I think Everton have frustrated them in that first half. I've never seen Arsenal give the ball away as much as they have. You can see they're getting frustrated because they can't break the lines of Everton, and I think it's just been a bit of a sloppy first half performance from them. It needs to improve in the second half.
Yeah, it definitely does need to improve, doesn't it? Well, it is goalless here at Goodison Park. Everton 0, Arsenal 0. It's also half-time in the 2 championship matches as well. Over on Talksport 2, it is Norwich 0, Burnley 1. So Sean Dyche's former club currently with the advantage in that one at Carrow Road. And in the New York Stadium, it is a South Yorkshire derby in front of Talksport's John Dunn.
And at half-time, it's Rotherham 0, Sheffield United 0. A half that Rotherham started the brighter in. They had an early penalty appeal turned away when Tariq Fosu looked to have been bundled over in the box. Debutant Jordan Hugill has given the Millers an aerial presence, and early on, 5 minutes in, his flick on released Chiedozie Ogbena right side of the penalty area, but his attempted lob was pushed away by goalkeeper Wes Fodrington. The Blades then took a grip of the game. They showed why they are in the automatic promotion places. Millers goalkeeper Victor Johansson twice denied Jayden Bogle. The first, a deflected cross that tested the Swedes' reflections. Later, it was a 25-yard curling effort that was pushed away. He also made a diving save from a Sander Berger 20-yarder. The home side then ended the half with an attacking flourish, and Hakeem Adofin should have done better with a close-range header that was just too close to Fodrington in the Sheffield United goal. Meaning at the break, it is Rotherham 0, Sheffield United 0.
John Dunn, thank you very much. You can stay across all of those score lines as we'll bring you up to date on Talk Sport. Here, though, at Goodison Park, what a first half for this Everton side. Sean Dyche seemingly got his side playing how he wants them to. He's been frustrating Mikel Arteta's league leaders, Arsenal. At the break, it is Everton 0, Arsenal 0. Plenty more after this.
Game day exclusive on Talksport with Car Finance 24/7. Get your finance sorted first, then choose your car. Search Car Finance 24/7 today.
And he's barrelled it straight through the midfield into the Village Hotel Pub and Grill fan zone, the home of big screen live football. A long volley over the stadium seats by the giant screens into the left-hand corner of the bar, past a winning lineup of ice-cold beers and a magnificent menu of mouth-watering footy food. Result: enjoy the perfect big match experience with food, drink and live football at a Village Hotel Pub and Grill fan zone at 33 UK locations. Find your nearest venue and win monthly prizes, including match tickets at villagehotels.com/fanzone. Get in! Conditions apply. 18 plus, always drink responsibly.
The new season is here, and The Times on Saturday has all the big interviews, insightful analysis and stats you need to set you up for a perfect weekend of Premier League action. Subscribe today at thetimes.co.uk/football for provocative and compelling opinions from the best sports writers in the business, including James Gibbrandt, Owen Slott and the voice of football, Henry Winter.
Lovely bit of football!
Try it free for 1 month at thetimes.co.uk/football. Auto renews at £26 a month unless cancelled. T's and C's apply.
What does Asahi Super Dry taste like? Crisp, refreshing and always super dry. A taste as unexpected and surprising as modern Japan. That's right, Japan's #1 beer. Asahi Super Dry, beyond expected. Go to asahisuperdry.com to verify. Enjoy responsibly. Visit drinkaware.co.uk to find out more.
Bing bong. Attentions please, attentions please. We got big new news. Just Eat now does grocery delivery. No problemo if you forgot the only thing you went in the shop to buy. Want ice cream for breakfast? Caught the cat licking the butter. So, don't cry over spilt milk. Get it delivered to your door from Just Eat instead. Grocery delivery. We got it.
Did somebody say Just Eat?
Only available from participating stores and selected locations. Products subject to availability. Service charge may apply. See justeat.co.uk for more details.
We all fantasize about our perfect home. Watching the big game, cozied up in the snug.
Another 7-0 win!
Balmy summer nights with the kids playing on the lawn.
We're playing real-life football!
But come on, this isn't real. Listen, if you're serious about making your fantasy a reality, find out what your home is worth instantly with a free online valuation estimate. Get real about moving. Get on the market. Most common time to obtain an online quote between 1st of June 2022 and 30th of September 2022 is under 3 minutes. Excludes Northern Ireland.
We've got it at Selco. Selco, it's where the trade goes.
At Selco Builders Warehouse, we've got real deals and a wide range of trade quality building products. In February, we've got 2.4 metre lengths of 75 by 50mm CLS studding for only £2.98 ex VAT. Now that's a real deal. Find even more real deals at Selco Builders Warehouse and online at selcobw.com.
We've got it at Selco. Selco, it's where the trade goes.
That charged at 20%.
Only 6 weeks till the Cheltenham Festival. And when you bet fair during the build-up, you get so much more to build your roar. So build your multiples, like doubles, trebles and lucky 15s to build your odds. Build your multiple, build the roar. Get a £10 free bet when you bet £10 worth of multiples today. Betfair.
Opt-in required. Free bet valid for 48 hours and racing multiples only. Min combined odds 2.0. Max 1 per day. Exclusions and T's and C's apply. 18 plus begambleaware.org.
Game day exclusive on Talksport with Now Sports. Stream all the Sky Sports action like Newcastle versus West Ham live today for $11.99. No contract. Search Now Sports 18 plus. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
PGA Tour. AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am live over on Talksport 2. Tonight from 7. As the world's golfing elite go head-to-head at Pebble Beach golf links, hear full swing by pitch-by-putt commentary of all the action direct from California. PGA Tour, AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am Live. Tonight from 7. Over on Talksport 2.
You are listening to Game Day Exclusive. I'm Reshmin Chowdhury. There is plenty of football going on up and down the country over on Talksport 2 in the Championship. We've had live commentary of Norwich against Burnley. Your half-time score there is Norwich 0, Burnley 1. It's also Rotherham 0, Sheffield United 0 in the Championship as well. In the WSL, it's Leicester 0, Manchester City 2. That one is actually now full-time. And it's also Aston Villa 1, Brighton 0 at half-time in that one. Here at Goodison Park, though, the focus of our live game here on Talksport, it is Everton 0, Arsenal 0. Everton with their new manager Sean Dyche really frustrating that Arsenal side in those opening 45 minutes. It's time now to get the latest from Betfair on that game. Betfair, of course, the official betting partner of Talksport's Premier League coverage.
Game day on Talksport with Betfair. Get a hand from Betfair's popular bet builder and easily add our fan favourite football selections to your bet slip. Terms and conditions apply. See support.betfair.com. 18 plus begambleaware.org.
Good afternoon, Sam Rossbottom from Betfair. What a first half, eh, for Everton?
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I was being optimistic for the Everton fans earlier before kick-off, looking at their chances of staying in the Premier League. And after that first 45, well, I'm sure they'll be feeling optimistic as well. Look, what does that first 45 do for the match odds? Well, I can tell you before kick-off, Everton was 7-1 to win this match, but they are now, they've been backed into 5-1, so positive signs there. Arsenal, look, they're still the favourites. They're currently even money to win the game. The draw now 7-5 in this one, and Dominic Calvert-Lewin, he's had quite a few chances there, hasn't he? For him to score in the second half, that's 5-1. For him to open the scoring in the game, currently 11-1, but I'm sure he'll be desperate, won't he, to finish off the chance if he gets another one.
Yeah, you think that he's just on the cusp of it, isn't it? Look, what about Sam's charity bet then? Because we need some goals then in the second half if we want to get anything back from that.
Absolutely right. So we've got our charity bet builder raising money for the Bobby Moore Fund. We've gone with Arsenal to win, both teams to score no, and Odegaard to get on the score sheet anytime. We did back that at just over 11-2, so our £50 charity stake will return £330 if all three land. Like you said, we do need a little bit to happen, but 1-0 Odegaard to score for Arsenal, that would do it. So fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed indeed. Sam Rossbottom, as ever, thank you very much. That odds update is all thanks to Betfair. Returns accurate as of 10 minutes ago. For verification, see betfair.com. Over 18s only. Conditions apply. Go to begambleaware.org.
Game day on Talksport with Betfair. Get a hand from Betfair's popular bet builder and easily add our fan favourite football selections to your bet slip. Terms and conditions apply. See support.betfair.com. 18 plus begambleaware.org.
Now in Rugby Union, the Six Nations gets underway at 2:15 today. Wales will be kicking off their campaign against the number one ranked side in the world, Ireland. And at the Principality for Talksport is Hamish Stewart.
Yeah, well, where to start the Welsh Rugby Union sexism round? No one officially allowed to sing Delilah. The return of Warren Gatland, and as you mentioned, Ireland being the number one team. They have been hit by an injury to scrum half Jameson Gibson-Park just before the match, though. Last summer for Wales, Joe Hawkins was in the under-20s team. Now he's starting alongside world record cap holder Alan Wynne-Jones. They say it's good to mix young and old, and we'll see how that translates into international rugby. Liam Williams at fullback for Wales, Conor Murray at scrum half for Ireland. They're the team news talking points, at least from 2:15. We'll be focusing fully on the rugby.
Hamish Stewart, thank you very much. Hamish there at the Principality ahead of the Six Nations, which starts today. Wales up against Ireland. OK, now it's time to look ahead to this evening's Premier League action with Now Sports.
Stay ahead of the game on Talksport with Now Sports. Stream all the Sky Sports action like Newcastle versus West Ham live today for $11.99. No contract. Search Now Sports 18+. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
Okay, at 5:30 p.m. this evening, Newcastle United will be hosting West Ham United at St James's Park. Eddie Howe's side just don't lose games at the moment, but how will West Ham United be able to break them down? I mean, Mickey Gray is alongside me. Newcastle, no Bruno Guimaraes, of course, is suspended for the next 3 games. Could that be the difference?
Well, of course they're going to miss a quality player like him, but what a season Newcastle are having. Got themselves to a final of a domestic trophy, searching one of those Champions League positions come the end of the season. Eddie Howe has he's worked wonders, he really has, and they've got everybody on side at that club. It must be great to be there, but unfortunately I don't want to be.
You're still welcome there, to be honest. I've been there with you, and they haven't been too unkind, given that you're a former Sunderland man, but you won't be there today, of course. Well, Jamie O'Hara and Gabby Agbonlahor will be on the line. They'll be taking your calls from 5:30 this evening before anyone else on national radio, and they'll be keeping you right up to date with all those goings-on at St James's Park. That was a look ahead to today's Premier League action with Now Sports. And don't forget that with Now Sports, you can stream the Sky Sports action like Newcastle against West Ham live today from $11.99. No contract. Search Now Sports.
Stay ahead of the game on Talksport with Now Sports. Stream all the Sky Sports action like Newcastle versus West Ham live today for $11.99. No contract. Search Now Sports 18+. Stream via internet. Terms apply.
Well, it's a busy day across the Talksport network. We are live at Goodison Park, of course, for Everton against Arsenal. The teams are heading out onto the pitch from 2:30. Of course, Adrian Durham will take you around the grounds in the Premier League and EFL, while over on Talksport 2, Ian Danter and Perry Groves will bring you live and exclusive commentary of Wolves against Liverpool. Right now, though, we're going to focus on the blue half of Merseyside. Everton and Arsenal about to kick off the second half, so it's time to hand you back to Mickey Gray and Sam Matterface.
Arsenal ended last season by crushing Everton 5-1 at the Emirates Stadium, but their last 2 visits here have ended in defeat. In December 2021, Everton scored twice in the last 10 minutes to come back to beat Arsenal 2-1. And the previous year, a Rob Holding own goal and Yerry Mina did the damage despite a Nicola Pepe penalty. Underway at the start of the second half, with no changes for either of these two teams. Everton in their blue shirts, white shorts and white socks now attacking the Gladys Street end away to our left, and the red and white of Arsenal attacking the Park end away to our right-hand side. I'll go through the 2-11s for you in just a second, but Mickey Gray, Everton have got to try and maintain those energy levels that they expended in the first half and take a chance the next time it comes.
Well, that's the big question. Have they got that in the tank, Sam, in the second half? Because they're going to have to do it. We know that Arsenal in the last 5 or 6 minutes of that first 45 minutes, they had that little surge themselves. They grew into the game, trying to break Everton down, but all questions there need answering in this second half. Have Everton got the tools to get something from this match?
Zinchenko has it wide on the left-hand side. He's cleared straight to Idrissa Gana Gueye, who's taken the ball down the right touchline, found Dominic Calvert-Lewin, whose ball into the box isn't great, but it comes back to Iwobi, whose is better, and Doucouré is allowed to bring it down inside the area and get free to try and get a shot away. Couldn't do so, centred it, comes back to Gana Gueye, takes a deflection, and it's parried away by Aaron Ramsey, and before anyone can try and capitalise on that parry from Aaron Ramsdale, the flag goes up over on the far side, but that's a really good chance. Another one that Everton have constructed.
I was just looking at Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and I wanted him to be in the 6-yard area, albeit he found himself out on that right-hand side, put a decent enough ball into the area towards Doucouré. And it fell to Idrissa Gueye. I mean, he's not a player who scores a lot of goals, but took a slight little deflection. He wasn't to know there was an offside. Again, it's a bright start for Everton again in the second half.
They have Jordan Pickford in goal, Coleman, Cody, Tarkowski and Mikalenko the back four, McNeil, Onana, Gueye, Doucouré and Iwobi across the middle, and Calvert-Lewin up top. It's 4-4-1-1 really, but a lot of the time when they're defending, it's two banks of four, in fact a five, come back and help out as well. And for Arsenal, Ramsdale the goalkeeper, White, Saliba, Gabriel and Zinchenko the back four, with Thomas Partey screening those, Ødegaard and Xhaka further on, with Saka and Martinelli flanking Nketiah in attack. 2 minutes 20 seconds played at the start of the second half. Everton have already had a chance, and under slate grey skies in the northwest. Arsenal need to brighten up a little bit. Saka infield to Zinchenko, down the right to Saka once again. Mykolenko comes across. Mykolenko takes the ball away from Saka and then smashes it into the stand that we're in, and it's away for a throw-in level with the edge of the penalty area.
I think certainly, Sam, Arsenal have got to move the ball a little bit quicker in this second half. What they have to try and do is get it into those wide areas a lot quicker than what they have done so far in this game. They've got to try and isolate Mykolenko, and they've got to try and isolate Seamus Coleman and get 1v1 situations with Saka and Martinelli, because that's where they're going to get their joy in this game.
I can't confirm 100% that Bill Kenwright and the rest of the board are not in attendance. I have tried to find that information out, and I've looked over at the director's board. I haven't seen anybody yet, but the Everton players are getting a healthy backing from their support today, which has not always been the case in recent weeks, because of the rancour and disappointment shown against the board. They did that before the match rather than during it today, and they've had a lot of cheers so far. Mykolenko fighting for the ball. That's one of the hallmarks of the performance so far, has been the work rate and the tracking back and the helping out, and that Dwight McNeil's just tied himself in a bit of a knot and somehow got away with just a goal kick away to our right hand side. I mean, the luck is on Everton's side here, because he's wandered down a corridor, which, let's be completely honest about it, he got himself tied in knots, and he ends up kicking the ball straight out of play, and it should have been a corner, and the referee has somehow come to his rescue and given a goal kick.
Yeah, he's a very lucky boy, Dwight McNeil, running back towards his own goal. He's just got to clear his lines, because that's what Everton have done so far. They've not been pretty. When they found themselves in a bit of a muddle, they've just tried to clear the lines and get the ball away from their goal as quick as they possibly can. And that's all Arsenal are waiting for, that one half opportunity at the moment to pounce on Everton.
5 minutes gone, second half. Live on Talksport, it is Everton 0, Arsenal 0, and it's an Arsenal free kick just short of the centre circle. Zinchenko to take it. He plays it to White. There's quite a healthy bench for Arsenal should they want to give things a bit of a rev up. They've got Jorginho, their new signing, Holding, Vieira, Tomiyasu, Tierney, new signing Kivior and Trossard, both waiting in the wings, ready to go. Here is Idrissa Gana Gueye, though, for Everton, winning the ball on halfway. Moving down the right into Decore, then Onana, who's under pressure from Ødegaard. Onto Gana Gueye, who motors down the right side. Gabriel comes out of his penalty area left into the fullback position, and it's cleared away by Arsenal. Back to their goalkeeper, under pressure from Calvert-Lewin. It's a lovely kick out towards the near side for Ben White, who's got space to scamper into, and he runs up to halfway, feeds Saka, wants the ball back on the near side. He's made a galloping run, White, but they've gone to the other side, and Martinelli via Ødegaard, and then it's Martinelli into the box, getting it back to Xhaka, who struck. It's hit two defenders, there's so many of them willing to block it. They went sliding through Cody and Coleman. Then there seemed to be a foul inside the area on Onana, and it's going to be I think it's out of play for a throw-in over on the far side, but there's certainly a stoppage here for David Coote to look at the issues with Onana.
Well, within a split second, Arsenal, from the goalkeeper Ramsdale, plays it out to the right hand side. They're down the other end, they're creating an opportunity themselves, and that's how clever they are. They play through the lines. The movement of the midfield players backing up the forward guys is exceptional at times.
I think Ødegaard stepped on the toes of Andre Onana. Oh, it's painful, especially in this sort of weather, isn't it? Oh, those boots don't really have the level of protection they used to, but even when they did, it still used to smart, that one.
Yeah, never nice. You get those metal studs or the moulds that they wear these days.
I can feel it
gliding off the top of your toes. Well, I think I've got one good toe left, Sam, from my 20 years of playing. It's not nice when I'm walking down the beach, I've got to tell you.
Put those socks on, Mick. 52 gone. Everton 0, Arsenal 0, live on Talksport. And Mickey and I will be back together on Wednesday night. Manchester United against Leeds United, a rearranged Premier League game. There are quite a few games before then live on Talksport, including later on Talksport 2 Wolves against Liverpool, and Adrian's taking you round the grounds as well. Ball into the box from the left-hand side, into the edge of the area that Arsenal are attacking away to our right, but Dwight McNeil does well to get beyond Saka and then hook the ball up to Calvert-Lewin, who's bullied Saliba and released the ball out to the far side, the right. Iwobi chasing will keep this in just about. He gets to the edge of the penalty area. His cross is a poor one and Partey can't help but ease that away to safety. But Calvert-Lewin with a brilliant bit of hold-up play for a centre-forward. McNeil down the left, producing a cross deep towards the far post. Zinchenko chests it down into the arms of his goalkeeper. Still open this, still on a knife edge.
Without a doubt, it's end-to-end. You see Everton still look a threat themselves when they get into that final third. Just saw Iwobi there. He was in a position, Sam, where he just had to float that ball into the area. It was a tight angle for him to try and curl it into the 6-yard box. Just had to float it, maybe with a little bit of pace on it, just to give his forward players a chance of getting anything on it.
I also see you're busy on Monday night as well. You've got a big game, Blackburn against Wigan in the Championship, haven't you? Here is Saka down the right side, playing it against Mikalenko. It is a corner this time. And David Coote, who is our referee, gives that corner in front of the Sir Philip Carter Park stand away to our right. And Sean Dyche just making sure that everybody is aware of their duties here as Arsenal prepare to take, well, I think is probably their first corner of the game.
I think you're
right.
right.
To our right-hand side. Here is Saka, short one, drills the ball goalwards, comes back out to Nketiah, who fires it 18 yards out straight against the Everton defender. It's repelled to halfway, hooked back in by Ben White, headed forward by Tarkowski, lands on halfway, prodded forward by White again, out to the wide left position, and Granit Xhaka. Xhaka turns it back towards his own goal, and Arsenal have possession again 9 minutes into the second half. Everton 0, Arsenal 0 on Talksport with Now Sports. Don't forget, with the Now Sports subscription you can watch all the Sky Sports action for just $11.99 without a contract. Search Now Sports. On the right hand side is Saka towards the edge of the area, back to Martinelli, into the box it goes, away by Coleman, and then picked up by White on the edge of the Everton penalty area. Right side, right on the cusp of it is Saka. He's taking it down the line to Ødegaard. Ødegaard moves into the box, flicks it up to Saka. Saka by the byline, controls it, fires it through the box. It's out on this near side and it's out for a goal kick.
Well, those Everton defenders deserve a pat on the back at the moment, certainly in this second half, because they're throwing their bodies on the line. That's 2 occasions. The first one initially, I think, was Conor Cody from the first strike from Granit Xhaka. This time it's Tarkowski just throwing his body, helping out his back line, just getting anything, any contact on it whatsoever to clear the lines. But what Everton have now done in the second half, because Arsenal have got a little bit of momentum, they're starting to drop into their own 18-yard box. That is the last thing that they've got to do. They've got to try and stay condensed as much as they possibly can to make it hard, like they did in the first half, for Arsenal to break them down.
Expected goals total, Everton 1.26, Arsenal 0.41. It's the latest on the statistical analysis. There has been another goal in the game down at Carrow Road, and it's live over on Talksport 2, and our producer can just whisper the score back in my ear again. It's 2-0 to Burnley. Vitinho with the goal in that game. I got slightly distracted there by the expected goals tally. That 1.26 was definitely Everton's. Here is Iwobi on halfway. It's still 0-0 on Talksport. 56 minutes gone. Mikalenko takes the ball down the touchline and then sends it back into the middle of the park. And it's taken on by Tarkowski. And Everton in a good shape, play it out towards the right-hand side. We'll go round our grounds of team news at 2 o'clock this afternoon to give you all the latest ahead of the big fixtures at Villa Park, at the Community Stadium Brentford, at Brighton, Old Trafford, and at Molineux, which is live on Talksport 2. Calvert-Lewin, good running, lovely ball down the right side for him. He holds it up well onto Doucouré and out wide to Iwobi. Iwobi with a cross into the box towards Calvert-Lewin again. It's too heavy for him. Comes back out to Mikalenko, strikes it on the volley from 25 yards. Well wide.
It was never set for Mikalenko. He just needed to have a touch and play a simple ball out to the left-hand side to Dwight McNeil. But again, it's Everton. Dominic Calvert-Lewin, he deserves a goal today, Sam. I know it doesn't work that way, but the work ethic that he's put in, playing as a single centre-forward there on his own, been absolutely fantastic. Holding the ball up when he's needed to hold it up, bringing his teammates into play. But those 2 big chances that went missing for him in the first half.
And Nketiah trying to run into Tarkowski. He heads the ball away. Cody clears, but straight to Zinchenko. Zinchenko forward towards Ødegaard, but Onana has slipped in and prevented it from going anywhere. And Onana's got it back again. Lovely little pirouette and turn. A back heel into Doucouré. And they're moving up the pitch at pace now. And it's with Iwobi, who scampers forward, slides it into Calvert-Lewin, who leaves it for Onana, who joins the attack. And Onana wasn't expecting that to come all the way through to him. He should have been, because it was intelligent from Calvert-Lewin to leave it to him because he was free. Ghana Gay into Iwobi, dispossessed by Ødegaard, and Arsenal look to counter. 0-0 the score, 57 on the clock. Iwobi trying to get back at Martinelli, who takes on the Nigerian, then beats Ghana Gay, feeds the ball out to the left side, and Nketiah, who skates into the area, sets up Ødegaard, who fires it over the top of the crossbar from 12 yards out. A brilliant chance for Arsenal. A wonderful run from Nketiah down the left-hand side. Martinelli started it off, and it was set back to Ødegaard, who from 12 yards had nobody in blue around him and fired over the bar.
Well, Alex Iwobi's a lucky man. He's given the ball away in a stupid position around that centre circle because he's run into bodies. You've just got to try and shield that ball as much as you can, get it away from the danger, and then just release it into the final third. Take the pressure away from your team. Gives the ball away. 3 seconds later, Arsenal, what an opportunity for Ødegaard. And the form that he's in, his away goals have been absolutely fantastic. Just trying to get his body over the top of it. Looks as if he's reaching for it a little bit. Never looks like he's going to keep it down. But that's what Arsenal could do. They haven't been at their best today, but a split second later, they're in on goal.
Jorginho's made his debut. He's off the bench after a transfer from Chelsea to play for Arsenal. He is replacing Thomas Partey, and Leandro Trossard is on in place of the winger Gabriel Martinelli. Here is Iwobi on the right hand side, trying to get beyond Xhaka, down to the byline, produces a cross, it goes out and away for an Everton corner.
Good pressure again from Alex Iwobi. He worked his socks off on that right hand side. Probably knew he wasn't going to get that ball into the area, just hoping that he was going to get a deflection to win his side another corner.
Neil Maupay is about to come on for Everton, and they're going to throw two up top here, sensing they might be able to get something. 19th in the table against top of the lot, and it's still goalless, and we're hitting the hour mark. The corner taken by McNeil, far side, deep towards the far post. Onana is up there, header is from Tarkowski, and they've scored! They've done it! They've made the breakthrough! Everton rolled the dice, and all of a sudden they're taking their chance! James Tarkowski with the goal, a header at the back post from a Dwight McNeil corner, and it's Everton 1, Arsenal 0.
Just listen to that. How long has that been missing, that noise at this stadium? It's just absolutely incredible. All that Everton deserved from the pressure that they put on Arsenal in this game. It's a great ball in from McNeil. They've had a lot of corners in this game with no joy. And how brave is Tarkowski at the back stick? Just gets away from his marker, moves them out the way, just has to make contact with it. All the pace is on the ball, finds its way into the back of the net, gives Ramsdale absolutely no chance. Goodison Park's alive again.
The Everton fans on their feet. James Tarkowski with his first ever Everton goal. A man who grew up a Manchester United supporter but was signed by Dyche for Burnley from Brentford, and now is playing under his former manager once again. Scores the first goal of the Sean Dyche era at Goodison Park. Norwich 0, Burnley 3. And Dow has scored for Burnley. And Arsenal have now got to try and come from behind. Otherwise, they'll be beaten for the first time since they lost in September to Manchester United.
What is it about certain teams where you come to a stadium, Sam, and Everton have got a very decent record against Arsenal of late, as we know. But they've just not performed. We've seen Arsenal throughout the first half of the season. They've been untouchable, let's be honest with you. They've been fantastic. But for some strange reason, whether it's that change in manager, or whatever you want to put it down to, they have just not performed today, Arsenal, and they've got to come from behind now, which is going to be so difficult when you see how Everton have played so far in this game.
Well, he said blithely yesterday when Sean Dyche was quizzed about the transfer window and the lack of activity, maybe the players that are here will get better. Saka trying to escape, and it's going to be a yellow card for Mykolenko, who brought him down rather crudely as he went to escape.
Another one of those blatant fouls where I think it's just stopped the momentum, the flow of Arsenal, giving the ball away on this occasion. Everton just switched off. Saka running through, just starting to get his head up, but again, it just stops the momentum of Arsenal. Gives Everton the chance to get everybody behind the ball, but the problem they've got now, certainly in that left back position, is he's got to hang on now for another 30 minutes on a yellow card. Listen to that. That's incredible.
If you know your history, you know that Everton and their supporters can produce. It's consistency that is the problem, and it has been under a series of managers, and Sean Dyche will have to ensure that they get over the line here first of all before starting to think about what could possibly be next. The fixture list could have been a little bit kinder to Sean Dyche. Arsenal on the first day, followed by a Merseyside derby date with Liverpool, which is live on Talksport next Monday night. But get a win here and they'll think anything is possible. Well, clearly it is. We said to you before the game, this shouldn't be a contest. It always is in the Premier League. Poor delivery by Trossard, cleared out by Everton all the way to the halfway line, and this will tell us a little bit about Arsenal as well and their title credentials. A team that have stood up toe-to-toe with Manchester United and Manchester City recently. Here is Nketiah inside the area trying to turn, tackle from Gana Gueye. Oh, that was a little bit late on Gabriel. That could be a penalty. The referee will check it. They'll have it checked by John Brooks, the VAR. There was certainly a collision that wasn't particularly aesthetic. Gana Gueye and Gabriel on the edge of the area. Gana Gueye's gone down saying he was injured. I think it's no. Mopé from the other side, who's come off the bench.
Yeah, well, I'm not too sure, Sam, if that was actually going to go to VAR, but we've been fortunate. We've seen a replay of it, and Gana Gueye makes contact with the ball. You can see the momentum of the ball actually continues on the line that is it on. But the follow-through and the contact on Gueye, I'm surprised he's actually got to his feet. It was a strong challenge, but that was Arsenal again. I mean, breaking through the lines, had a great chance from Nketiah, just couldn't get himself on the turn to get his strike away. 3 or 4 Everton bodies in front of him yet again. They're going to have to do it. They're going to have to hang on at certain times in this game. But just listen to this place. It's erupted from that goal.
Yeah, I think maybe the question mark was over Mopé coming from behind and challenging Gabriel. He's come on for Calvert-Lewin, by the way, in the last few minutes. That happened, I think, in the aftermath of the goal.
Yeah. Well, Dominic Calvert-Lewin's just ran himself into the ground. He's given absolutely everything, which I'm sure Sean Dyche has probably had a word with him before the game, just to say, look, just give me 60, 65 minutes and I can make that change. But now it's down to Mopé, who's not had the best of starts at his new football club, but what a game to be involved in.
Here is Dwight McNeil down the left-hand side for Everton, trying to get towards the byline. The cross is a decent one. It's too close to Aaron Ramsdale. It's cleared away. Mopé, who himself has been struggling for goals, the ex-Brighton forward who got the winner against West Ham in September, but nothing since. It's a long time ago now. Oh, that's a poor pass by Iwobi. He's given it to Ødegaard, who's run to the edge of the area. Great tackle by Conor Cody. 1-on-1 on the edge of the box. Flicked back in by Xhaka. Out to Saka right side. Arsenal on the attack. Saka stabs it goalwards. It's collected by Jordan Pickford and cleared away. 66 on the clock. Everton lead by a goal to nil. That goal coming from James Tarkowski. The 30-year-old centre-half signed at the beginning of the season on a free transfer from Burnley. It's taken him less than 8 months to link up again with Sean Dyche, and already he's on the score sheet just an hour into his first game under his old boss. Iwobi right side, moves towards the edge of the penalty area, tries to feed it in towards Mopé. Iwobi still going for it, and Mopé wins it back well. Comes to Ghana Gay, edge of the box. Everton coming forward in search of a second goal here. What this would do to their hopes of staying in the Premier League, what this would do to Arsenal's title hopes, bearing in mind that Manchester City play Tottenham tomorrow and could close the gap, if it stays like this, to just 2 points.
Yeah, it's absolutely massive, isn't it? They just can't let up Arsenal, because you know that the force of Manchester City are just behind them.
Onana looking to try and feed Mopé. Probably could have gone left to McNeil, and it might have been a better ball as they won it high up inside Arsenal territory. But they're first to every ball. They're committed. They're challenging every single Arsenal body all over the park, Everton. And I'm sure Frank Lampard is watching on thinking, maybe they could have done this for me too.
Yeah, there's always going to be that question, isn't there? Which is why they've gone through so many managers over the past, 5 or 6 seasons. It's just not been good enough with a club like this, and this is what they want to see every single week, certainly in front of their home supporters.
All of a sudden the narrative is changing, and now it's all about Arsenal, and can they do something about it? There has been a challenge down here on the near side, and David Coote's not happy at all. There was a challenge on Ben White on this near touchline. Andre Onana came across and was a little bit late, I think. A yellow card as a result.
Just got to calm their temper a little bit, Sam. Just getting away from Everton at the moment. That's a couple of yellow cards. First one from Mikalenko, this one from Onana. Just sliding a little bit too late there. You see Ben White just having a word with the referee, still on the ground, and look, it's all kicking off now.
Oh, and Xhaka's getting involved. Mopé, who's never shy of a word or two, has got a few things to say. Him and Ben White were mates down at the Amex, but they're on opposite sides now. And Xhaka just pulling Mopé away. He does get himself in a spot of bother, Neil Mopé.
Yeah, he's got that little temper switch, hasn't he? I think he's just got to keep his cool, as all the Everton players have got to do. They've got to stay disciplined like they have done so far in the game. Don't let this one get away from you. They've got, as I mentioned before, they've got something to hang on to. Surely, for the last 20 minutes, that must spur you on.
Yeah, 20 minutes to go. Everton leading by 1-0. Looking for their first win since October. Ødegaard down the left, picking out Trossard, who skates into the area, pulls the ball back through the 6-yard box. It's blocked by Seamus Coleman and goes out for a corner over on the far side. Another Arsenal corner. Can they create something away back into this game? Arsenal aiming to win their 14th top flight title, their first since the Invincibles of 2004. But you would expect them to come to Everton and get 3 points if they want to be the team that go on and lift that trophy. They would expect of themselves to come here and win. So would that rather expectant group of supporters over on the far side in the corner of the Bullens Road stand, in the top and the bottom tier, who have watched that corner disappear into their ranks and then toss back in again. Xhaka's got it for Zinchenko left side, on towards Jorginho, skips the ball out towards the far touchline, and it's collected by Trossard now, trying to take it down the line. Iwobi plays it against him, claims a handball, referee says Arsenal throw. Attacking the goal away to our right, it's away down by the corner flag in the arms of Zinchenko. Needs some movement in front of him, doesn't get it, goes left to Xhaka instead, and then plays it back into midfield, and Jorginho has it. He plays it square onto Saliba. Saliba out to Ben White. White looks up, Jorginho wants it back in the centre of the park. Jorginho plays it left, and it's a little bit loose. Zinchenko takes it on, and further down the touchline is former Brighton star Trossard, chipped into the box, headed away by Tarkowski, the man who's got the only goal of this game so far. A mistake by Gabriel, and Doucouré was over there, so was Mopé. They try to get it away from the Arsenal grasp, but very quickly Arsenal have got it back again.
Yeah, Neil Mopé just needed to get a hold of that ball. It was kind of in two decisions in his mind, whether to just turn and try and run at the back line of Arsenal, or hold the ball up and wait for his teammates to back him up a little bit. Well, he did neither in the end, and I think that's where we got a few moans and groans from the Evertonian supporters.
We're off to find out about team news in just a second here on Talksport. We'll go to Old Trafford very shortly indeed. But Everton defending away to our right-hand side, trying to get the ball clear, and Arsenal still putting the pressure on. White Oh, a little back heel from Ødegaard, which goes out of play. So let's head off to the game at Old Trafford, because Manchester United are on their way to Wembley. But Palace is the first of 8 games in 25 days for Erik ten Hag. So much rotation, Mark Wilson?
Well, he's reverted mainly to the 11 that lost at Arsenal in the Premier League 2 weeks ago. Eriksen is out injured. McTominay also drops out as Casemiro and Fred come back in. Sabitzer, the new signing, is on the bench. Palace make 3 changes from their last outing. Zaha injured, Ward and Eze drop out as Klein, Hughes and Elise come on. Their new signings, Lokonga and Armada, are both on the bench. At Old Trafford, 3 o'clock start, Manchester United against Crystal Palace.
Injuries have blighted both Villa and Leicester all season. Who looks the stronger today? Jeff Peters.
Well, Leicester give full debuts to all 3 of their recent signings. Harry Souttar, Victor Christensen and Tete. Kelechi Iheanacho makes only his 2nd league start of the season. Villa make 1 change from the win at Southampton. Fit again, Luca Dean in for Moreno, who drops to the bench.
Liverpool looking for their first win of 2023 in the Premier League in front of Ian Dante.
And they've recalled Darwin Núñez to the starting lineup from the team that lost at Brighton in the Cup. The other change for Liverpool, Matip in for the injured Konate. Homeside Wolves make 4 changes from their 3-0 loss at Man City. Aït-Nouri, Dawson making his debut, Sarabia and Cunha come in for Traore, Jimenez, Collins and Bueno. Live on Talksport 2 at 3, it's Wolves against Liverpool.
Everton give the ball away back at Goodison Park, and Xhaka fires a cross into the box, which is claimed by Jordan Pickford, who comes out to the perimeter of his penalty area. He pats the ball with one hand and points to the floor with another, suggesting, gentlemen, shall we just try and calm it down a little bit and try and manage out these last 16 minutes of the game. Let's head off to the game down at the Amex Stadium. Bournemouth opened Bill Foley's wallet in January, and Brighton kept Caicedo. Any sign of him today, Alex Crook?
Well, he is here, Sam, but Caicedo named only on the bench after his failed attempts to force a move from Sussex. 4 changes for Brighton from the side that beat Liverpool in the FA Cup. Sanchez, Veltman, Gilmour and Undav come in. 2 debuts for Bournemouth. Semenyo and Traore both start.
Back here at Goodison Park, Dwight McNeil slaloms down the left side of the touchline, moves into the edge of the box and wins a corner for Everton. And we've got 16 minutes to go, live on TalkSport. Everton leading Arsenal by a goal to 0. Adrian Durham will take you round the grounds after 2:30 this afternoon, and we've got live commentary of Wolves against Liverpool on TalkSport 2. We've got the final few minutes of this game to concentrate on before then. There's Neil Maupay, who did get a bit of a whack in the back of the head. He's back on his feet again. He's moaning at the referee, David Coots. He goes into the penalty area to try and attack this Everton corner, which Iwobi will take in front of the Gladys Street, right-footed, deep towards the far post. And Ramsdale's blocked off again. It's poked towards goal, and it comes back towards Iwobi, slides across the 6-yard box, and then Maupay fires the ball over the top of the crossbar from 8 yards out after a real melee. I thought Ramsdale was going to be given a free kick there, because he seemed to be blocked off as he came for the ball. It ran loose inside the penalty area, ran right across the 6-yard box, and a big chance for Maupay to finish it, which he didn't.
I don't know at the first touch, Sam, when the ball fell to the ground, when the ball eventually got itself into the area, but Arsenal look as if they're really panicking from these set pieces from Everton.
They certainly do. Ødegaard's got it on the near side, off to the G-Tech, the Brentford Community Stadium. Saints bottom of the table and out of the League Cup this week. But any new faces to give them a pep-up, Ian Abrahams?
Nope, they're both on the bench. So Pero, Edozie, Lavia and Elyounoussi replace Walker, Peters, Nyamko, Alcaraz and Armstrong. As for Brentford, 2 changes. Higgy and Visa in for Ajer and Roslev.
Everton 1, Arsenal 0. Live on TalkSport with Car Finance 24/7. Search Car Finance 24/7 today. Jorginho for Arsenal, forward through the middle of the park. It's cut out by Ghana Gay as Ødegaard threatens to escape, and now Iwobi comes forward down the right side. He's got Maupay in advance of him. Iwobi goes for goal and hits it against Gabriel. It repels and goes out by the corner flag, hits the corner flag and goes the wrong side of it, and it's out for a throw-in to Everton, who lead by a goal to 0. The latest odds are available at Betfair, the official betting partner of TalkSport's Premier League coverage, where right now you can get Everton to win the game at 2-1 on, Arsenal 10-1 to come back and win the match, and the draw is 23-10. It's all thanks to Betfair. 18+ begambleaware.org. Ødegaard coming off here, Mickey, and on comes Fabio Vieira. Are you surprised by that?
To be honest with you, no, I'm not. I think Ødegaard at certain times in the game he's tried to break down the lines of this Everton back four. He's not really been able to do it. His shot maybe summed up his performance, actually, Sam, the one about 5-10 minutes ago where he skied over. Yeah, brilliant opportunity. I don't think it's been his best game, let's be completely honest with you. And Vieira just gives them a bit more legs in that midfield area, and we know he's lively, he's got wonderful feet. And let's be honest with you, they need something at the moment, Arsenal, because they're still trying to get themselves something out of the game.
Gone again. Right side is Iwobi. Iwobi switching the play into Mikalenko, heads it forward. Mopé goes up with Gabriel, who's got a good foot advantage on him in terms of height, manages to win that, heads it clear. Forward by Xhaka into Vieira, and then it's on to Saliba. Saliba out towards the right side, and then it's with White. Back into Saka. Saka to the far side. Chested down by Trossard. Trossard gets into the area. Right footed shot. Saved by the goalkeeper. Comes back out to Xhaka. Then there was a smack on the hand of Jorginho. But Doucouré is showing no worry about that. He's bounding forward over the halfway line. And he's got Mopé in support. And he needs support. Anana back to the centre of the midfield. And they're quite happy to hold on to the ball here. Everton knowing that they've got still a few minutes to go. Ball tossed forward for Doucouré. Offside flag is up. And we are just 12 minutes away now from a massive coupon buster.
Oh, what a chance. What a chance Everton had to break on Arsenal there with Neal Maupay. But he just held things up. He had to turn. He had to just drive at the back line of Arsenal. And after holding the ball up, he went into that midfield area. It gives Arsenal the opportunity to get everybody behind the ball again and then start their own counter-attack. Centre forward, he's not played too much in an Everton shirt of late, Neal Maupay, but he has to give more. He's come off the bench to make an impact. Pretty much what Dominic Calvert-Lewin did while he was on the pitch, but he's got to show a little bit more, certainly in those final third positions.
26-year-old forward has scored before against Arsenal. A ball into the area, it's flicked away, comes back to Saka, and Saka takes a volley and shoots over the top of the crossbar on the pressure from McNeil, and into the park end away to our right hand side. It's a quick Arsenal move down that left hand side and worked its way to Bukayo Saka, took one touch to set himself and then volleyed over the top of the crossbar, and Mikel Arteta can't quite believe that a couple of chances have been spurned by his usually reliable finishers.
Yeah, they've just got themselves into positions again. You know, Saka normally his first touch is so reliable, but he doesn't really work it or place it into a position where he can get his left foot strike away on that. Once again, he's snatched at it a little bit with his right foot, which has pretty much summed up Arsenal's performance, certainly in that final third positions. Look, we know they've got the quality, Sam, but momentum's a huge thing in the Premier League, and they could be losing a lot of that today when you think about the sides around them who are going to be playing later on this afternoon and over the weekend.
I must admit, when I watched the game on Friday night, I thought Arteta did the right thing. We'll get back to that in just a second, because Saka is coming forward, delivering a ball to the far post. Trossard trying to keep it in, can't do so, and it goes behind and away for a goal kick away to our right. I thought Arteta selecting the team that he did, going to Manchester City and actually being the better team for large portions of that match, meant that he came away out of the FA Cup. That's not his main priority, but without too much face lost. But I wonder if they were to lose this game today, whether it will be perceived then as a lack of momentum, losing a bit of momentum, losing 2 games on the bounce in quick succession, and that might be a bit of an issue, as you say, in terms of momentum.
Yeah, but I think you have to look at who they were playing against, Sam. Maybe if it was somebody else who was mid-table and he'd made those substitutions or changes, if you like, and they hadn't got the performance and the result that they were expected to get. I think because it was Manchester City was probably why he made so many changes, but he was also must have had one eye on this game today against Everton, and also the Premier League game against Man City that they've got at the Emirates, which was going to be huge anyway. But when you think about this result and this performance,
it's going to be massive now. Given away by McNeil. Saka's won it back onto Xhaka, edge of the area. Trossard, oh dear, he's golf clubbed it. He's pitching wedge that one right over the top, and it's gone out for a goal kick. The supporters unhappy about a challenge by Saka on McNeil down the left touchline in front of Sean Dyche, which he is absolutely furious about. So is Steve Stone and Ian Wone, 3 of them in the technical area, only allowed 2 at a time, and the 4th official, who is Andy Madley, is just trying to calm things down.
I just think, I mean, yes, of course there was contact and he shoved him away from the ball, but it more looked like Dwight McNeil had lost his footing a little bit, as if he'd slipped away from the ball. I mean, they're going to cheer and jeer forever than the Evertonians, certainly at the moment.
Especially with 8 minutes to go before the end of the game and them leading by a goal to nil. It would be a sucker punch to lose a goal now, and they know that. They don't want to drop 2 points. They've dropped so many points this season. Here is Tarkowski, who's scored the goal that's put them in front, stepping in and winning it high up the pitch for Everton. They're on the left inside Arsenal territory, with Dwight McNeil scampering away from Ben White, playing it against him and winning a corner.
Sam, there's so many individual performances out there today in an Everton shirt. It's very difficult to actually single one individual out because they've been absolutely superb. McNeil, Iwobi on the wings, Decore, Anana, Seamus Coleman. I mean, talk about rolling back the years. What a performance he's put into today. Absolutely phenomenal.
Well, they had great chances in the first half, didn't take them. Took their big chance in the second. Have conceded a couple of chances and rode their luck. But they lead here by a goal to nil. Corner comes in. It's pushed away by Saliba. Drops inside the box. Arsenal screaming for a handball. In fact, just stopping screaming for a handball until the referee blows his whistle. And then eventually it is given and it's cleared away. One by Mope. Brilliant work. Takes it from Jorginho, then slips as he shoots towards goal. And that was my worry about Jorginho coming into this team, and I mentioned it to our producer. He is the opposite of press resistant, isn't he?
Yeah.
He sometimes spends too much time on the ball and gets it taken off of him in key areas, and that would worry me.
A comparison, if you like, Sam, which I can give you, is Thiago for Liverpool. He's very similar in the way that he's fantastic on the ball. He can see a pass. He plays the game at his own pace, but when you haven't got the ball, has he got enough in the legs, in his tank, to help out the way that Arsenal play? Because he does, he brings a different dimension. He's got his own skills and his own qualities, but it's not Thomas Partey.
Well, there's certainly going to be no party on that bus on the way home for Arsenal. Not if it stays like this with 6 minutes to go. The ball is out on the right side. White to toss it in towards the near post, and then a push by Nketiah gives a free kick to the home team, and they're all standing away to our right, big jackets on, hats and scarves, screaming their support for the team. As Arsenal make another substitution, Ben White comes off and Takahiro Tomiyasu comes on. Sean Dyche is not one of those who uses a lot of substitutions. I remember thinking back to the end of last year when the 5 substitute rule came in, that he didn't used to use that many.
Well, did he have a squad that had 5 substitutes?
Actually, that was probably the first point, yeah.
Yeah, a little bit different at Everton. I'm sure he's got players on that bench who are obviously desperate to get out there and be involved in a game like this.
Mickey Gray alongside me. Later on, Ian Danter and Perry Groves will bring you Wolves against Liverpool on Talksport 2, whilst Adrian Durham takes you round the ground on a busy day of Premier League action. We'll try and bring you the interviews from Sean Dyche and Mikel Arteta before 3 o'clock this afternoon, live from the touchline. And there's a yellow card for Jordan Pickford, who apparently took too long to take his goal kick. I'm clamping down on this now, and spent a bit of time in the company of some referees this week.
Yeah,
and there are a few things that we might notice over the course of the next few weeks. As they come up, I think we'll identify them rather than trying to go through it all now.
Well, the template
it was a work call, by the way. I wasn't just socialising with them, I have got other friends.
It was. I think the template was set in the World Cup, wasn't it, Sam? Every single game they looked as if there was 8, 9, 10 minutes added on time.
Mope chasing in behind. Tomiyasu gets it back to his goalkeeper. Ramsdale from inside the 6-yard box manages to clear up over the halfway line. Coleman chasing that out. It will go out. 4 minutes on the big clock over in the corner. Between
sorry, Sam, for jumping in. Just keep an eye on Seamus Coleman. He was running to that ball as it went out of play. Just holding on to his groin or his hamstring. I think he has a problem. If he has,
stretched out his left leg, didn't he, there, in a way that suggested there might be an issue. Might encourage Leandro Trossard for the final few minutes of this game. Sean Dyche still bellowing on the touchline. It's not because he eats gravel in the morning that he's got such a horsey voice. It might have something to do with the constant barracking he does from the touchline, though. Nketiah has the ball taken off his toes by Idrissa Gana Gueye, and out to Iwobi on the far side. It's a throw-in to the home team. And it's going to be an Everton ball as they waste a few more precious seconds.
We've certainly seen the Idrissa Gana Gueye that was here first time around, and not
the one that made the error against Brighton.
Yeah, he's been excellent today. He really has. He's in there to do a job, which is to win the ball back for his team and play it to the players around him who've got better quality. And this is why they brought him back to the club, because he was excellent first time around. But I mentioned it, Sam, earlier. They have set standards right now, Everton, and they cannot drop from what we've seen from them today. Look, they've got a second half of the season to claw the points back. I think this game, if they actually go on and win it, gets them out of the bottom three, albeit with a lot of teams playing later on.
Yeah, it does. It takes them out of the bottom three, and that's a great place to start for Sean Dyche and for Everton. His era starting at the moment with a victory, but there are still 2.5 minutes to come, and they are playing Arsenal. Here's Takehiro Tomiyasu, should have scored on Friday night against Manchester City. It's played out wide towards Vieira, who crosses the box. He's blocked by Gana Gueye. It's out for a corner. Champions League goals in big moments, and if Arsenal are going to be champions, maybe they need to get something from this game. Have they got anything left in the locker? Saka to take it right side. It's a corner away to our right. And everybody's committed high up inside opposition territory. The only person who's not in the Everton half is Aaron Ramsdale, and he nearly is. Here's the corner, Saka to take it, left-footed, in towards the near post, headed away by Tarkowski, down towards the edge of the box by Jorginho, thrashed clear by Coleman. Vieira's picked it up, giving it back to his goalkeeper, who's now going to be pressed by McNeil. He doesn't get there, but Ramsdale manages to clear. Mikalenko away. 88 minutes, 45 seconds. Sean Dyche didn't get that ball back into play. He just manoeuvred his body out the way of the ball so it would go further away from Tomiyasu. Everton on the back foot here, but Arsenal haven't really done enough to get something from the match. Zinchenko takes matters into his own hands and thrashes the ball goalwards from 30 yards. And ultimately, on the balance of play and chances and the way that they've applied themselves, I think Everton deserve 3 points.
100%. 100%. Since they came out that tunnel, there was intent in the way that they performed. The work ethic of every single one of them. They've been absolutely top class, they really have. And I think you can see frustration at times in the way that Arsenal have performed at Goodison Park this afternoon. And just there in front of us, Zinchenko taking a shot on from 30 yards out when he's got players in front of him. And listen to that crowd, it tells a story in itself.
Well, that crowd might be needed for a little bit longer. I know that you've come in your car today. You haven't got a reservation for a late lunch, have you? Because I did warn you, there will be at least 6 minutes of added time.
I don't want it to end. What a game.
Here is Saliba down the right, headed away by Tarkowski. Picked up by Onana, gracefully takes the ball away from Jorginho and uses his long, rangy limbs to sprint down the left touchline. And then he wins the ball back from Saliba after initially losing it. 6 minutes of added time has been confirmed. Onana wins the throw-in, and then he turns round to the crowd. He throws his arms up in the air like he's just scored the winner in a cup final and gets them onside once again. 1-0 Everton lead in the dying embers of this game at Goodison Park. Are Arsenal, who've only been beaten once all season in the Premier League, going to lose to the team 19th at the start of the day? It feels like that. It really feels like that.
Sam, I've got no affiliation with either of these clubs, but just a challenge like that from Onana, I'm getting goosebumps. I really am, because you can feel the energy in the crowd.
Great ball forward by Arsenal up towards the right side, looking for Saka. Saka thinks he's won a corner, and he's done enough to do so. Still time to go for Arsenal to try and drag themselves back into this game. Everton, they can't keep a clean sheet. They never keep a clean sheet. Saka to take the corner on this near side. Every Everton fan cursing the radio right now as this goes in towards the near post from Saka. It's actually to the edge of the area where Zinchenko will strike it over the bar. Yeah, it was a brilliant, well-worked set piece. And Zinchenko, leaning backwards, fires it over the top of the crossbar. Everton look a different outfit, don't they, today? But, you know, they haven't been relegated since 1951. if they are going to avoid being relegated again, Mickey, they need more than just one win, but it will be a welcome start to build.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to give yourself a platform initially. And that knock-on effect of a new manager coming through the door, expecting and hoping that his first game in charge would actually turn out like this. Well, we're getting to those minutes, the championship minutes as I like to call them, where these Everton players have got to just dig deep. They've got to find something. I see Onana holding on to his knee. Seamus Coleman limping around. He's got one groin left. I mean, that is where they're at. You would not have seen this 2 weeks ago.
Here is McNeil on the near side. Trying to take on Tomiyasu and Saka. Saka does well and wins it back. Plays it infield. Gives it to Jorginho. Jorginho out towards the far side. Collected by Trossard. Trossard pokes it forward. It's away by Gana Gueye. Collected by Trossard again, far side. Xhaka. Gana Gueye wins a foul. Trossard gets frustrated, kicks the ball away. The free kick is Everton's, and we are in the 93rd minute of the game, 94th minute of the game now, and 39,314 have watched this display. Maybe it's a turning point, maybe it's another forced dawn. There's been so many of them at Goodison Park, it's very difficult to recognise which is which. But for Mikel Arteta, this is a setback, and there haven't been too many of those over the course of the season. A ground on which he's never won as a manager. A ground where Arsenal almost always struggle. They haven't won here since Arsene Wenger was in charge, and even then their wins were infrequent. And they're going to lose here unless they can find a rescue act in the last few moments of this game. 6 added minutes have been allotted. Pickford blasts the ball upfield from a free kick. It did take him quite some time to take that one. Doucouré goes in with Gabriel. Gabriel is now being used as an auxiliary striker, and he's been thrust up top alongside Eddie Nketiah. There are 2 balls on the pitch. Zinchenko is arguing with the assistant over on the far side. Jorginho can't get the ball off the pitch quick enough. He hasn't hit it hard enough for it to go off the pitch, so it's still going to stay on the pitch, which means they can't take the throw in until it's off. Anyway, they've eventually got it moving again, Arsenal. Oh, there's a foul on the far side. Zinchenko, that was late. Mopé's down. All the players are going over to cause a real problem. The referee is taking his time. There's a massive melee on the far side. Zinchenko's not happy. He's having a word with Mopé for going down easily. The referee hasn't made a decision yet, but there is a real brawl going on over on the far side. Captain's involved trying to calm things down, but there is holding, pushing, a real temperature rising, frustration from Arsenal, expectation from Everton that they're going to get over the line. Zinchenko's going to be spoken here by David Coote, and then the cross goes. Zinchenko's got involved again when Mikolenko has to go and act as peacemaker. Yellow card for Doucouré. It don't look great, does it? And what's going to happen here to Zinchenko? A yellow card for him as well.
Yeah, he just reacted to the challenge from Neal Maupay, which brought every single player across. I think David Coote's handled that pretty well, I've got to be completely honest with you, because we're at the moment now, Sam, where Everton are trying to get themselves over the finishing line. The roof is going to come off this place.
96 minutes have been played, and the referee David Coote is just waiting for an instruction to allow the game to restart from the VAR. He's now allowed that to continue, and Ramsdale has bludgeoned the ball forward up towards the edge of the penalty area, away by Tarkowski, picked up by Fabio Vieira. Now it's with Saka. 96 minutes have been played, but we've had some significant delays since then. Mopé's won the ball, fouled by Takahiro Tomiyasu. It's going to be a free kick to Everton inside their own half. They know now that they are moments away, and Arsenal are going to throw away 3 points. They're going to drop 3 points. They've only dropped 7 all season. They're going to drop 3 here at Goodison Park, the home of Sean Dyche's latest charges. It's going to be only the second time since October the 23rd that Arsenal have dropped points. Since that date, Everton have only picked up 1. Now they're going to pick up 3. The noise is deafening at Goodison Park. What a start this will be for the new manager. Pickford up towards Onana, can't control it, out for a goal kick away to our left. 96 minutes have been played. 97 are nearly complete. And the referee blows his whistle, it's all over now. This only happens in the Premier League. Everton were on their worst run of form in 28 years. And Arsenal were having the time of their lives. Everton were the only Premier League club not to sign a player in January. Arsenal signed a Champions League winner. Everton haven't won since October. Arsenal hadn't lost since September. But somehow Everton, under their latest new manager, have beaten the side that sit proudly on top of the Premier League. And as a result, Manchester City have the chance to close the gap to 2 points tomorrow, thanks to Arsenal and Arteta getting turned over on Merseyside. James Tarkowski with the defining moment in a brilliant performance from Everton. There will be some scratching their heads asking, where on earth has this been? Because they were terrific today, absolutely terrific. And Arsenal was certainly not at their best. It's finished at Goodison Park. Everton 1, Arsenal 0.
Sam Muspace, thank you very much. Listen to that noise. Only at Goodison Park can you see this level of emotion, this zigzag of emotion throughout the season. Where has this performance been? I tell you what a show from this Everton side. The Arsenal fans, only a handful of them still left on the pitch. The Everton players are still there. James Tarkowski certainly going to savour this moment. His first ever Everton goal. The smiles on the faces of these players. The belief that is running through their veins. It is back. How long will it last? We do not know. But for now, this place is absolutely bouncing. Aaron Ramsdale waving to the Arsenal supporters as he goes off the pitch. A few moments previously, Mikel Arteta was having to pull Alexander Zinchenko away from the melee of players gathering in the centre circle. Tempers flaring, of course, at the end of that game. Frustration for Arsenal, but jubilation for this Everton side. Mickey, you have been there in those relegation battles when you as a player, you're having to listen to people saying the squad's not good enough. They're not going to do it. They're my tip to go down. What does it take from within to get that fire in your belly again, to prove to all those naysayers that, you know what, we've got something about us. Who are you to say that we haven't?
It takes heart. It takes a lot of passion. And it takes something deep within you to say to yourself, I don't want to be a part of this. I want to be a part of something successful moving forward. And if that is the stepping stone from where Everton are going to be in the second half of the season, they won't have any problems whatsoever, Resh. I mean, what a joy it has actually been to be at Goodison Park today.
Yeah.
Only in the Premier League you get a side sitting second on the bottom of the table, playing against a side who are absolutely flying at the top of the Premier League, and you get a performance like that and an atmosphere in a stadium that has got so much history and tradition. It was just a joy to be here. And what a game of football. Absolutely loved it from first minute to the last.
Yeah, you said it in commentary, didn't you? It gives you goosebumps being here when you listen to this noise. And I said previously that, you know, I've been here for some huge games when Duncan Ferguson was in charge. You know, this is a club that on so many occasions in recent years has been on the floor. They've had to pick themselves up from the depths to try and stay in this division, which is what they're trying to do. And for all the anger that the fan base has against the hierarchy of this club, they really do love Everton Football Club. And this is when it comes to life, because when their backs are against the wall, the fans have got their backs.
Absolutely. I mean, did they play their part today? 100%. Sean Dyche asked for a breathing space. Well, he got that today. Forget about all these distractions, the protests outside. how the first half of the season's gone for Everton Football Club. They've got to put that to side, and they've got to keep doing what they've just done there for 90 minutes, 97 minutes, because that was absolutely top class. There was a feel about the place when we actually came into the stadium today, albeit we probably all had a conversation with ourselves and give Everton absolutely no chance. But they proved everybody wrong, and that's what they're going to have to keep doing. They've got to get themselves out of this sticky situation they found themselves in. And those players, they know that's the players that they've got until the end of the season. They've just got to keep doing that. Winning games, 1-0, fighting for their lives. I mean, I talked about performances of individual players. It's very difficult to do because it was a team performance, but my good Lord, some brilliant performances and thoroughly deserved to win the game.
Well, it was 3 hours and 28 minutes ago when I said to you, only in the Premier League would there be a nagging question that a team in Everton's position, with the second fewest goals, the second worst home record, the second worst team in the league, could beat a team like Arsenal, who are having their best season ever. And I said at the time, I can't see it. But I think from the minute the game started, we knew that there was something in this for Everton. I think Arsenal will be really disappointed because they haven't allowed things like this to affect them this season. But today they did. They didn't play their game. They couldn't play their game. But Everton deserve a huge amount of credit. But as we've said before, it started like this under Carlo, under Rafa, under Frank. Got to keep going.
Yeah, and that is the big question, isn't it? Look, Sean Dyche has come in, and the new manager bounce is certainly in full swing after the opening game. But yeah, as you say, Sam, the question is how long can they keep this up, because we've seen that story go in the opposite direction on so many occasions. What a game for Everton. It's funny because I always have this niggling feeling that maybe they could do it. I don't know, Sean Dyche. There's something about that new manager, something about Sean's attitude, and there's something about this place that, when all those pieces fit together, it works for this club. It really does. Everton fans and Arsenal fans, don't forget, Talksport will be taking your calls before anyone else. That's at 5:30 today with Jamie O'Hara and Gabby Agbonlahor. 03717 223344 is the number to call to pick your place on the game day phone-in. Here at Goodison Park, though, it's now time to pick our man of the match with Car Finance 24/7.
Man of the match on Talksport with Car Finance 24/7. Get your finance sorted first, then choose your car. Search Car Finance 24/7 today.
Ooh, Mickey Gray. There are a few characters who probably deserve a place in that one. Who are you going for?
Well, you're right, Resh. I mean, I could have picked 5 or 6 or maybe even more than that. But my player of the match, I'm going for Seamus Coleman. He's got this club at heart. He's been here for many, many years. He's not no spring chicken anymore, is he? But I thought his performance today, first half against Martinelli, was absolutely top class. And even when they made the change and put Trossard out there on the left-hand side in the second half, he managed it so well. So I've gone for Seamus Coleman. What a performance from him. What a performance from Seamus Cole, captain today, even with a slight niggle as we saw throughout at the end of the game, actually. Still held on and led this side to victory. That was our man of the match from today's game with Car Finance 24/7. You can search Car Finance 24/7 today.